Hi, everybody out in YouTube land. I'm just guessing I'm live, so I'm gonna just start talking. How's it going tonight? I'll give everybody a minute to get in here, and because I don't understand how I should ask Mike and K-Pro how they do that because I think they go through Zoom, or it might be, I don't know, it could be way over my head how to do this. But I know I saw JK Pioneer over in the other room, so I know he was waiting. So I hope you all find me. Okay, okay. You know I am. I gotta click around forever and find my view. Hi, Nomadic Madman. Good to see ya. Hi, Tim. How's it going tonight? Winston G. Nice to see you again, Winston. I'm having beer in my wine glass tonight. I brought a makeshift cooler up here so I can stay and talk with all you guys and not have to, fade to black. So, cheers, everybody. Hi, Silver Sage. Hi. Wow, so good to see you. Hi, Lucky Digger. Hi, Sledneck. Hi, Lori James. Hi, Jen. Atlantic Coast. Hi, Atlantic Coast. Wanderer, MT. How you doing? Good to see ya. Here we go. Oh yeah, I gotta pull up my I'll do it on this computer. I got an email from Jack, and I'm gonna how many people do I have in here? 24. Should I start right out with the juicy bits? Because okay, so last week, as many of you know who were in here with me, okay, I'm gonna start by reading the email. Should I share screen and do this? No, I can just read this. Okay. Sledneck is gonna stay sober and be the designated driver. Sweet. Okay, here's what I said to Jack. I haven't said anything. I wrote Jack an email like the very first day or soon after I found out, or that he announced who it was and that he had an email address and a YouTube video. And so it was like, is it Eric Sloan? Of course, my question was something Eric Sloan, la da da. So that was when was that? December that happened, when it all something like that. Anyway, so I haven't said anything to Jack. I've left him alone. I haven't thought of anything else to ask him until I send him this on Friday, May 7th. So it was last week before my show. It was in the afternoon. Hello, Jack. I've been listening to your video, trying to figure out your approach to solving the poem while other YouTubers are running around guessing at locations. I put in the subject line, cognitive bias video. So that's the subject, is the video. Okay. I need closure, and I feel like we, the searcher community, all deserve it. Is there anything you can tell me? Listen to how. Is there anything you can tell me to nudge me in the right direction? For instance, during your video, you said Forrest wasn't interested in other treasure hunting books or solving ciphers, but was interested in pirates. That makes me believe that the Gold Bug book is the book you may be referring to. Can you tell me if Edgar Allan Poe's book helped you figure out Forrest's poem? Saves a whole lot of time, right? Okay. And then I said, thank you for your time, Susie Fennhaven, right? Okay. So he wrote back on the 10th. He wrote, Susie, I'm not aware of any deep interest he had in pirates. I was just saying that was a point of reference. I don't think any specific literature helped me figure out his poem. He said, I don't think any specific literature helped me figure out his poem. So I think that's a wowza. Okay. You know, so all that literature that's mentioned in The Thrill, The Chase, that you can jump off the page and go down the rabbit hole of The Catcher in the Rye, the Hemingway, you know what I'm saying. Good Lord, hang on. I get ahead of myself. Is that all I said? Yep. And then, okay. So I set that at like, 2:54 in the afternoon. At 7:30 on that same day, on May 7th, when I first sent that one about watching his video and trying to figure it out, I sent him another video, whatever, 5 hours later, and said, hello, Jack, Susie again. I'm sorry to bother you again. I would like to talk about your video on confirmation bias on my YouTube show. Oh my God, I sound so stupid in this. I would like to show clips and engage the chat in a discussion. Please let me know if it's okay, or you rather me talk about it without using the clips directly. Thank you for everything you've shared so far. I can't wait to read Dan's book. Take care, Susie Fennhaven. And he wrote back in pure Fenn style. He wrote back, sure. Sure. But not till May 10th, not until I had already done it. I am bad enough. I am asking for forgiveness when permission feels like ugh. Mm-hmm. Okay, so my whole thing on going, the gold bug has to be because of Jack's confirmation or cognitive bias video. He said that Forrest read pirate books. He didn't read treasure hunting books per se that talked about I'm going to bring up the chat so I can see what's going on with everybody here. Here I am. Oh, it's going to be loud. I don't have my thing on mute. Okay, did I do it in time? I did it. Okay. Okay. Ooh, hard. Okay. That is a wow, says Winston. Zozo Rocks. Hi, Zozo Rocks. Says find Forrest and you will find the solution. 9 clues equal 9 locations, equal 9 adventures, equal 9 references to notoriety, equal the solution. A lot of 9s. Could very well be Zozo. You crack me up, Susie. What'd I do? I just popped a natty. Cheers. I'm drinking these 55 calorie Budweisers with barely any alcohol, which is best for everybody. But I do have I don't know, whatever. We're gonna go with this beer for now. I'm gonna crack a cold one. Okay. So I had been alerted by Hooli, who I think will be joining us now, or joining the chat probably in a little bit. She or somebody told me about another interview by Dan Barbarisi that came out today. Apple something, I don't know. She sent it in text, so I can't even post the link, but apparently it shows up on YouTube. Let me see who that was by again, so I can at least. But anyway, there's some not so flattering. Here we go. What happened? Did I close it by accident? I did. Rats. Okay, this is silly. I can't. Oh my gosh. Dead air, talk about yourselves. It's called The Story Behind the Forest Fence Outside Podcast. It's Outside Podcast. Let me see if that will show you. Nope, it won't. There. And it's 43 minutes long, but it does have commercials, or has a commercial in the middle. But it's Dan Barbarisi talking about what he learned, talk about stuff, the chase and his book. Should I read this little blurb right here? A decade ago, a Santa Fe art dealer, Forrest Fenn, filled a box with treasure. Filled a box with treasure. Placed it somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, then published a poem containing 9 clues to its location. Thousands of searchers would go looking for the loot, and 5 of them would die in the process before it was discovered last year. Nobody has followed this saga more closely than journalist Daniel Barbarisi, who broke the news of how the treasure hunt was found and is now coming out with a book about the hunt. Who broke the news of how the treasure was found? What do you mean? Okay, continue. And now is coming out a book about the hunt. In this episode, our former host, Peter Frick Wright, who published his own feature about the chase in 2015, digs deep with Barbarisi on the story that would capture the world. This episode is brought to you by 303 Protectants and Cleaners, designed to take care of your vehicles you depend on for your adventures. You're welcome. 20% off with your promo code outside 2021. Oh my God. Outside podcast. Okay. Oh. Anyway, it has some allegations of Forrest soliciting female searchers for nude photos and stuff, which to me is like, oh, woo, news alert. A man wanted to see a woman naked. Big news alert. A married man wanted to check out another chick. Oh my God, call the presses. It's like, it's so much like a nothing burger to me. I mean, come on. It's worth giving. What it doesn't, that just having what he said tonight, or what I listened to during that interview, does not tarnish my image of Forrest at all. So I don't know the story yet. I am waiting for the whole thing, but just that little sprinkle that I heard is like, oh, a man acting like a man. Granny. Yeah, Susie, agree. Crazy. No solution though. Once you've seen one, you pretty much want to see them all. MJ answer. Perhaps people misunderstood his humor. Oh. I think it would take a lot for that shine, for Forrest to lose that shine in my eyes. I'd be worried if he didn't want to see women naked. Big. Never mind. Okay, here's better stuff. We got better things to do, you guys, because one thing I did pick up was on Rudy Maxa. Okay, Rudy Maxa did he's got a YouTube channel. He also interviewed Dan Barbersi on YouTube. I should figure out the link, hey, huh? But so Chasing Indy and Adam Foddy and Granny, I think maybe was in that chat room. Anyway, because he did it as a live interview, right? And so a Zoom meeting thing. And so what we found out during that little interview was that Dan says, the question Rudy asked Dan is, so are there other people that know the location now? Right? And I have it at timestamp 43 minutes, 50 seconds in is the actual thing. If you guys want to do a timestamp check, and if I would have been more organized and not listening to other videos. Shit. But I don't have permission to show this one. I have permission to show Jack's video. But what did I say? Rudy says, so now are there more people that know the location? Are there people that know? And he says, yeah, there are people that know the location now. More people know, people close to Forrest. And then he corrected himself and said, I should say close to Jack. meaning, because Forrest passed away. And then, right? Then you can almost see him like look down at the, like he's on Zoom, right? And talking to whatever, but you can see him kind of do this number and kind of, you can almost see like the screen color change, like you can see it. Like he's reading something, and it's like, oh, I wonder if Jack is listening to this and he's going, no, because after he said that, by the end of the video, Dan says to him, Rudy, I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question you asked me earlier about somebody, if other people now know where that location is. And I have to correct and say that I don't know that. And I can't speak to that, or I don't know. I shouldn't have said that, something like that. Did you guys catch it? What was that, Susie? The location the location. He said that he didn't say where the location was. He just said that a few people, there's several people. I don't know what the word, there are people. I don't made it sound like that now know the location other than Jack. So what that means to me is, it's two can keep a secret, one of them is dead. Eventually, this is going to come out. It's destined to happen. I learned today that Suzanne Summers survived breast cancer, double mastectomy. No kidding. Hi, Brian Gates. Hi, Amy. When the location, so yeah, Wyoming. She used mistletoe to cure herself. Who? Suzanne Summers? Okay, so anyway, so that was my other note about Jack. But so what else did we learn about we learned the pirate from the email that the gold, we can scratch gold bug or other literature. He said other literature did not help him solve the poem. Should we go back and talk about that? What do you guys think about that piece? Let me see exactly what he said again. I don't think any specific literature helped me figure out his poem. Wow. Any specific literature? Well, you know what that also takes out of the game for me is $17 a square inch. I thought, well, maybe even if he didn't get the book until after he found the treasure and then he met Forrest and Forrest gave him the title, he gave him a book, had $17 square inch. I thought, well, if it's not the book itself, maybe it's the title. Maybe that's what you need, that $17 a square inch. If somehow that's a part of unlocking, because it is on the back flap of TTOTC, or, it is on the back flap. It's mentioned. It's there. So anything in this book that's mentioned, I consider fair game. I don't care if it's on flap, right? So yeah, I flat out ballsy asked him, is this anything to do with Edgar Allan Poe and the gold bug? Didn't think I'd get, being such a direct answer, just being so, because that takes out the gold bug had things, they had a blaze that was bones, and the devil's seat, where you had to go into one spot and then find the blaze and then look down from the blaze and drop the bug through the eye. It's like, oh, is there mechanics of finding Captain Kidd's treasure? Because Captain Kidd is directly after the poem. Susie, what does the back flap say? It says Forest other book. It lists $17 a square inch in the list of books. So $17 square inch could be the title to the gold, is what I kind of thought at one point, wondering, because I can write using different symbols. I can write $17 a square inch. That makes it sound like you're joining the poem with Eric Sloan, America, whatever. It's something, I don't know. Just one of those crazy ideas. Big imagination, that kind of stuff. But anyway, okay. So $17 square inch. That was, oh yeah, Nomadic Madman. Oh, hi, King Casher, Jim King. McKing. Your princess. There's Dave Bradshaw. Hey, Dave. And there's David P. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong. Okay, yeah. Okay. So you like how I just throw this? I need closure and feel like we all deserve it. I put that in the email to Jack. It's true, man. Quit holding out the info, man. But today is already the 15th, consider it the 16th, right? What is it today? I don't even know. 14th. Okay. That book comes out the 18th. So that could be a kickoff point, because God, it all seems so fishy. Something seems kind of fishy here, Anyway, let's get back to figuring it out ourselves. Skip all that rigmarole. Confirmation bias video. That's where I'm going. I got to get back to my the chat so I can see what's going on. Did you watch the first? And yes, that's the one, the Rudy Maxa interview that I'm talking about. That is that the first one? Maybe not. Lucky Digger, do you know when is the Rudy Maxa the first one? And then this one on Apple TV, the second? Fishy. Book has 0 in it, just failed solves. No, it's more of a story. And no, it doesn't have Jack's in this. Jack's in the story. And so he's not failed. Anything more that we can pull out of this. because this is so much. This story is so big, you guys. I think this story is big. This story is about us, all of us that are sitting here right now, you know? Um, I'm reading it now. It seems interesting. What are you reading? The interview or the book? Did you get the book? Did you get your hands on it? Hey, Larry. Is OK Larry in here? Hi, OK Larry. I made a makeshift bridge so my wife wouldn't get her feet wet when we crossed the river, assembled it at home, and then took it apart to take it with us. Oh, she's a princess. You are her knight. Luckily, we didn't need it. Awesome. We are part of history now. We sure are, apparently. History is written by the hand holding the phone. Used to be written by a pen. Mm-hmm. So does somebody want to come on here with me? What's going on? Let me see. Where's oh yeah, you click here and then you go like this and you go like this. And then you do this and this. There you go. I better get into my Zoom room so I can see if somebody does want to come in. Does anyone want to come in and talk more about what has been any of it? More about that literature, knowing that. So what is it? Okay, you know what I kind of thought of, like, how your brain doesn't ever stop thinking about Forrest Fenn and the chase. So every now and again, you'll just be like doing something else and then go, hey, I wonder. I did that. And I started thinking about the poem. And, one of the big anomalies in this book that's undeniable is on page 111. And it's the red exclamation, do not touch, boom, with the red exclamation point, whereas the first do not touch has a black period after it, and then it's close quote. The second one has a red exclamation point and then the black close quote, so what if, and then, okay, so how would you use that in the poem? Like how, and how could it be? Because it's such an oddity that it has to be something. It's red text, right? So then I started, and then looking at the poem, and you get down to the very last stanza. So hear me all and listen good. So hear me all and listen good. It's like you're exclaiming. Isn't that an exclamation? Or is that what do you say when you declare? But what if that's where hear me all and listen good? What if that goes back to you're looking for that red exclamation point, and that sentence is telling you to do not touch. And so that's how Jack knew not to, when he found the treasure, not to touch it, because it's right in the poem. Do not touch it. And then And is your effort worth the cold because you got to go do it again the next day or whatever? I don't know. But here we, is that a part of it? Was it distinct, do not touch. Like if you find it, don't touch it, call me. What do you guys think? Hi, Davio. Good to see you, dear. Nice to see ya. How are you doing? Hi, Richard Rutherford. Sledneck says the snow is melting. Who else is ready to go? My sister asked me the other day, you getting together that camping gear? Oh, it's funny. That's for, because in case you guys don't know, on the weekend of February, I booked a campsite at that Hyde Park. I think that's hysterical. It's got no electricity, no running water, nothing. You just in the woods, you're just there, hmm But it does, it makes me smile to think, it makes me laugh to think about it. So if I get to laugh at myself for thinking that I'm gonna really go camping for a couple months, well then that's worth the $28 fee. Right? Okay. What made me think camping in Hyde Park? Probably not even gonna happen. We don't even know. It better get some rain. Damn it. Okay. So pirates. Back to pirates. I want to steer the ship back to pirates because I want to find out. Yeah. Yeah, blah blah blah. Forrest wanted nude photos. Blah blah. I want to see reincarnated as Captain Kidd. I want to know why that's right after the poem, and I want to know why that's important. And it's not because the gold bug. So that saves up. That's a rabbit hole. Wow, big rabbit hole. Where's Sean Dotson? I wonder if he ever pays attention to any of the things. I think he would find that interesting because he's the one that when I first found out about the gold bug, I Googled it or not Googled it, put it into YouTube search and his video came up, the flip side. And so so I knew, so it was really fun to hear. And so I had listened to that a few times. I think about, I don't even know, whatever happened to, I don't even think his videos are still a thing, whatever. But the gold bug made me think of him and how I could find, is it just one more thing that Forrest stole? Like all these quotes, everything in here, the poems, the Bear looks for stuff. Bear dropped a video about Millet, is that how you say your name? That the ugly castle, or come and see my shiny castle built. Upon the rock. Safe upon the solid rock, the ugly house, or the ugly house to stand. Come and see my shiny castle built upon the sand. Something like that. And that's in the Bell chapter somewhere, I think. But anyway, doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Bear was talking about that. So, but anyway, it's just one little thing, like, the life, that poker quote, that's stolen, or not stolen, or what do you call it? Pirate. Is the pirate? Well, the pirate is Captain Kidd. He says it right. Although I was listening to Forrest interview again, and when pirates were mentioned, he came up with Blackbeard was his reference, is what he talked about. And what else during that interview was, he was talking about how important the illustrations are. He was on stage with Douglas Preston and Michael McGarity. It's not his name. And that's the interview I was listening to. It was from A Gypsy's Kiss, Toby Eunice, 2013, Too Far to Walk book, perhaps, interview. And that's the one where he describes, or says, I sent Dale out onto the Madison River and told him exactly where to go and take that picture for the cover of Too Far to Walk. And of course, then we had to drop in the shadow. And Dale, and so Forrest said we dropped in the shadow, made a Dale now just came out on Amy Seek's channel and was talking about things. And I swear to God, he said that he went and got a hat and dressed up like that and took the picture. Somebody's full of, I got to listen to that again, because those two old, Forrest and Dale, nobody ever asked me for any new photos. Oh my. Oh, I have nothing to say after that. I need another beer. Oh. Oh. Dale said that, but he took a lot of photos and did not use Dale's shadow. Oh, I see. That's an important clue about the where he took it on the river. Maybe you should have sent them. Like, dear. Oh God. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody. Gallatin goes, great. How are you doing? Just started vacation. I'm sorry, Brian. I could. It's called humor. Hey, I'm gonna put the link back in here. Does somebody want to come on and save me? save me from myself at all. Uh-oh. Frozen. There. Okay. Wait, I was talking about, I wonder if Dale sent new photos. I don't think that would have worked the same. The shadow knows. Oh. Uh, oh, hi, Tyler, the little engine that could. Yep, the world will never know how big and how kind my heart is. Only if only one knew. Well, that just happens. Hey, Davio, did you hear me talk about what Jack told me, or are you not? He said other literature did not help him. Specifically type thing. So that's like literature, he used the word. Oh, hi, Gadelcon, ICRF. How you doing? Now you have to be, look what I did. Haha. I would, but I'm married. I think there may be more the five. I think there may be more the 5% alcohol in that beer. No, it's only 2.3. Google it. Budweiser Select 55. It's like 2.3% alcohol. I really did want a glass of wine, but that goes way off the rails so quickly because it's so good. Okay. Oh yeah, Davio, come on with me. That would be fun. You only need the poem. The rest of I know. See, Dave. Thanks for steering the ship back to. Oh, here, Tyler said he's gonna come on. Okay, Tyler, want to come on talk? Here you go. What do you got? How's it going tonight? Tyler's joining us.
What's up, Susie?
What up, Tyler? Nothing, the normal Friday
I feel ya.
stuff. How's your Friday?
It's been good. I had to work today, but other than that, I'm home now, sitting on my porch, drinking a beer, and talking to you. What better, right?
Perfect. Beautiful. Absolutely. Well, thanks for jumping on.
Not
What
a
do you got to
problem.
say about any of this? So you had to work all day, so you didn't have time, or I don't know, did you have time to, or are you interested in all in that Dan Barbarisi's book that's coming out, or any of the interviews he happens to be doing?
Well, I will say this. I have my mom pre-order the book, so I'm getting it whenever, I think is it the hard cover? Is that what it is? That comes, whichever one comes out May 18th, that's supposed to be delivered then?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have one either. I'm getting one too from K Pro and Mike. They drew my name. So, but you did pre-order one. Okay, so
Yeah.
did you know about have you listened to any of the interviews that Dan guy has done and talked about that book?
Oh, I've been doing my own research. I put together a presentation that I handed over to a certain someone that the whole Chase community knows pretty well. So we'll let them have their fame because they deserve it after all they've been through.
So what kind of presentation? Like, what do you mean?
Pertaining
Yourself?
to pertaining to I put my original solve to rest to try and figure out the legit spot, and I think I have it pretty much for where it's been one to die.
Oh, and so you put together your whatever, your research that tells you that.
Yes. And I even added in some of the stuff that, that were images from the book that some stuff people didn't catch.
And so you're putting this out where or how?
I put it together on Google Slides, and I gave a certain special somebody that was a part of K-Pro's group the presentation so they can do it themselves and present it.
Is it GTC? Is it Greg?
Ooh, it is not GTC.
Because he's taking people's solves and doing shows about them and having people on and doing that. It's not okay.
Nope. You know this person pretty well. I know who he does, Lucky Digger. And
Why don't you just say it? Why is it I mean, why is it so?
I'd rather it be a surprise, give him as a shot.
Okay. So okay, I don't know how long you've been listening to this or your approach to solving the poem, right? Or any of that. Did you ever use any other books other than The Thrill of the Chase when working on?
I will tell you this much as I will say. There's some stuff in The Thrill of the Chase that really caught my eye and went, oh shit. It was sitting in front of my face the whole damn time, and I'm just now seeing this. Like, wow. Like, I saw something last night. I said, you got to be kidding me. There was a story
that's so fun. Isn't that fun? That's why we all do it, is that rush of, like, when I think I found the home of Brown, because it's a brown home, it's all capitalized. It's like, it was one of those, oh my God, there it is. I'm sitting there, blah, and it's boom. Is it Chasing Indy? Yes.
Yes, it is. It is. It is Chasing Indy. Guess who has my presentation?
Eugene got it. Nailed it.
Yeah, me and her were going back and forth today, and when I was at work, I figured why not just give her the presentation.
Right. I'm reading the chat.
I will say this: there's 2 poem clue hints on the cover of The Thrill of the Chase that you might not know about.
There's 2 what? There's 2 what? And
there's 2 poem clues on the cover of The Thrill of the Chase.
2 poem clues. Oh, that water sign that turns into a 5. Like
close, close. And I'll give you a hint. WWWH.
Is it in the clouds?
No, it was in the original picture with the water. The pipe is warm water's halt. Hence, you can dip your toe in it. And where that water runs into is the creek. There will be no puddle up your creek. And then I will leave the other one up in air.
And it is running right down. I mean, when you look at the picture right here, it runs down right into right here's the gold, I mean, like.
And then also actually take that back. 3. There's 3 on that cover. 3. 1 I just told you. 2, there's another one on that same picture.
Okay.
What's the second clue in the poem?
I don't know. You have to tell me, because everyone has their different interpretation of what the first clue and the second clue is.
So it starts with with warm water. Beginning with
taken in the canyon down. Is it the canyon down?
Canyon down, yes. It's literally right behind him. The hills in the background is a canyon. If you refer back to page 99, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, 99 is the double X.
Yep.
The bombs.
The X was his way of showing you exactly where the chest was placed at.
Okay.
But you gotta figure out the exact spot of where the whole. It's pretty much a blueprint map of the whole place, pretty much. which is what page 99 is.
Davio asks, hi, Susie. Question, what is the 41st, 42nd words in the poem, counting from the bottom? The answer, 42, 41.
The two main things to focus on are geographical clues and physical clues. But don't worry about that until you know the whole general location, which is how Jack solved it.
Well, and that's why we're kind of here tonight, because
Jack reverse engineered the whole poem. He went back and found something that a certain business published either without Forrest knowing or with Forrest knowing. And Jack saw that in 2018, which is how he knew the general location of where to look.
by how he found something.
He found, I'll say this, he found an article that a business published via either with Finn's permission or without Finn's permission. And he found that in 2018, which is why he knew the general location, but not where the blaze was. Because
and how do you know this? This is all speculation, really.
No. I've talked to Jack in the past. I've caught some stuff that he said, and I went, oh shit. Which is why I know about the Madison River hint that's you'll see in the presentation that hopefully Chasing Indy will present.
I thought your solution was the Cody Museum, or near or around the Cody Museum.
I'm not
or does it
denying
need you?
it.
What's that?
I'm not denying or confirming nothing.
Oh. Okay. All right. All right. But signature of Forrest Fenn doesn't have the dot on the last F.
And you know what people really should pay attention to? The JF and page 99.
Why is that?
You'll see.
It's no fun if you know to talk to somebody that won't you know, like this tease doesn't make me want to watch Chasing Indy's video anymore, you know. It really doesn't. It just kind of
I guess I'll say this. Forrest Fenn looked up to a certain artist and he wanted to like kind of live his lifestyle artist wise as, you know, him. You know what I'm saying? As that person. So he put JF there on page 99 to represent that, because he wanted to end it in a certain place where he could have that, you know, reference in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know, and it's, you know, this is all it's all speculation, you know, because this isn't you know, you're not Jack, you're not, you know, so you can't talk in the definitive as in you know, this is how it is, or this is how he did it. You can only talk in the I think this is how, and I think this is how, or look at Lucky Digger says JF equals Treasure Island treasure map. Wow. So does your JF relate to Treasure Island treasure map?
Nope.
No? Okay. Nomadic Madman says, I spoke to Jack. Sup, man? Can you spare some change? I don't think so.
I got a whole bunch of that in my house. I got a whole bunch of change in my house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Jack is going through enough change. Plenty of change. Like his whole life just got shaken up like a snow globe.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna rattle his limbs, just a big much or a big portion of, you know, I'm about to rattle him. In other words, I shared my presentation with him, so we'll see if he reads his emails or not.
Lavender Blonde. Hi, Lavender Blonde. Oh, hi, Adam Foddy. happy like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
Tyler, try to convince Bill.
no, that's not gonna happen. No, that's not gonna happen. He's too stuck in this, and that's where I used to be the same way as Bill, but I grew out of it real quick because I was like, I got to do something for this community, because if I don't, we're just gonna be stuck in limbo forever. And I was like, I can't have that happen on my watch. So I grew out of my phase of being stuck myself, threw it to the garbage, and said, you know what, I'm gonna do something nice for the community. I'm gonna find those answers for good, and that's what I set out to do.
Okay. Do you think Jack will pay it forward? What do you think pay it forward really means?
I don't think he'll
Um,
do anything. I think he wants all of us to figure it out because he said it, and I will throw it back to y'all. If he or I told y'all would not believe us. But there's a certain specific reason why y'all would not believe us. But for that reason, I will leave to y'all to figure out.
um, right. If I figure this out, I'm gonna tell everybody I don't care.
Well, I was the same way, but
Um,
you know, if you really respect Forrest Fenn in his special spot, I'm sure you do the same that Jack is doing now. And it hurts to say because, you know, like I set up to do it for y'all. But, you know, I mean, if you really think about it, people are stuck in their own solves and they're not going to believe anything, you know?
not
It's
everybody. I don't
not
think
everybody.
everybody. I'm gonna believe Jack. I'm gonna believe Jack. He's the only one. There's nobody else. There's nobody else's solved. There's nobody else's that I'm gonna follow. I'm not gonna follow somebody's solution that was somebody that used to be in the search community and then appeared again out of nowhere and said, I used to, or I had an email from Jack from 2 years ago, and I think I know where their location is. I am not falling for any of that. No.
Me and Jack were in close contact, and I think me and him got into an argument. I think ever since then, he's just like been very,
Why would you want to pick a fight with Jack?
because I got pissed off.
It's not really a good move, but
Oh, it wasn't a good move. I definitely admit on that part. But because, you know, I'm a human being, you know, I admit to my wrongs. If I'm wrong, I'm
and
wrong.
this is so frustrating. It is so frustrating. He understands it. He knows it's frustrating. Um, but I don't know. I have a lot of hope for this story unfolding in it is unfolding now. The story is not over. We're all just in it. We're all just still in it. It's moving forward painfully slow. And here we sit. Nobody calls them handles anymore. Oh, what's your handle? Right. Do people know what that means? Young people don't know. Hi, Geo Nut. I watched your little short video. That's awesome. You're out there living it. He's Geo Nut walks the talk. Here's to you. Thanks
I've
for
already
sharing. Keep doing it because I never get to go. I don't. Those are like. Mhm. The last clue is the hardest. The first clue is the hardest, man. I suppose it's all perspective, right? Whammy, cheetah hoop, hop, cheetah hop.
I'll say this: the answer of the general location lies somewhere within or within the Thrill of the Chase book.
Um, Do you know that the word chase in French means quarry? And a memoir this is French. Memoir is French, and it means quarry. So what if this is the quarry we're looking for? What if the quarry is what we're looking for, meaning the rock quarry, meaning the Yellowstone Clovis quarry. What do you think of that?
I'm trying to think of what I want to say. I don't want to give too much away.
Too late. It's over. There's no giving too much away. It's not possible. But you think I'm right? Ooh, you like that? You like that whole idea because they made arrowheads from that quarry that ended up everywhere across the United States that can be traced to Yellowstone quarry? A good rock.
I'll say this.
Find a good rock.
I'll say this. I might as well just say it. So the behind the scenes story lies within the story of Donnie and Finn.
Okay.
Sit on that for a second.
I don't need to. I've already sat on it for years.
I'm not enough.
Sitting on that egg for years. That's just that's the map chapter. Looking for Lewis and Clark.
Oh.
Don't act like you know something.
Oh, I do.
Because you don't, Tyler. You don't.
Bullshit.
You don't. You're not Jack. You don't have the chest. You can't have
That's because he thought of it before I did.
What's that?
He thought of it before I did.
Who did? Jack did?
Mm-hmm. If I had known what I know now, I would have probably found it before Jack. Or we would have been in a close tie.
Why do you think that Lucky Digger says, why do you think there are so many searchers that still think that they are the solver and that someone is going to give them the chest?
Never said I was the solver or the finder.
You think someone's going to give you the chest?
No, I never said I was the solver or the finder.
Right. Lucky Digger's just commenting. He's not commenting about you, but there are people.
It's not who you know, it's what you know.
There are people that are out there that think that they're waiting. I'm not going to name names, but we know who they are. I don't know. The psychology behind this is interesting. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of you people in here are psychology students disguised as searchers trying to figure out what the hell is really going on. It's possible. Doing great, Zozo. Grandkids are wearing me out. That's a good problem to have. Knock, knock. Oh, hooray. Adam.
I'll give you another hint that might help you. It might see what I'm saying.
Okay.
It might or might not. Better or worse.
Let's have it.
Davy Crockett.
What about Davy Crockett?
Think about Davy Crockett and looking for Lewis and Clark.
Okay.
It lies somewhere within the thrill of the chase, and when you see it, you're gonna have a light bulb that goes off real quick.
It makes me think of the coonskin cap. When I think of Davy Crockett.
Maybe not.
Oh, good God, Tyler. Well, it's been great having you on tonight.
Hi, Susie. Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Adam. How's it going?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you,
Fine.
man. Good to see
Good
you.
to see you.
How are you, Susie?
Oh,
She's
chugging
thinking.
along, chugging along. Slam a beer.
Yeah, I tried to go to bed, but I couldn't sleep, so I thought I'd jump on and say hello, see what you're talking about.
Well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. Nice to see you. So what do you think of that? Okay. Oh, you were on the chat on Rudy Maxa's when he was interviewing
Yeah,
Dan Barbarisi.
I can't believe that no one seemed to know about that. There was
I didn't
me.
know about it. I only knew after the fact when it was mentioned. I
Yeah.
don't know, was it cable or right. And so I am so out of the loop. I don't go out on to the where all the buzz is happening, but I'm bummed I missed it, and I did watch it, and I'm glad it was live, because that whole thing where he just casually goes, yeah, there are many people
Yeah.
know about where the location is
Did you watch
now. People that are close to Forrest, or I should say close to Jack, and then it was like reel it in.
Yeah.
No?
I think from the moment he said it, from the very moment he said it, he knew he had spoken, he'd said too much.
Well,
And
you could see him. Okay, he's looking like this into the camera, and then he's
yeah,
looking down at like something else, like I do when I look over here, I read the chat, and then his eyebrows go.
his mind was going. He was
His
thinking,
eyebrows
oh
go
crap.
up, and he's like,
Yeah.
kind of like this oh crap look, and then you can see him kind of, looking, and then kind of distracted as Rudy's talking about blah 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 something else, and then ask him a question about his family or leaving his wife to go out searching or something like that. And
You
just
are.
the way he, I went back and watched again his body language
Wow,
and
you're
how he
spot
handled
on.
that situation, and it was like,
Did you
by
watch
the
my
end of it,
video on Cowley's Facebook group? Did you watch my video? I did like a video on it.
oh no, I
Oh,
do
you
not
need
go
to
on
watch.
Facebook.
Oh, I'll
No,
send it you.
you
You'll
could,
need to
wild
watch it.
horses couldn't drag me to Facebook. There's not a chance.
Well, I made a video pointing out exactly that from the moment he answered the question,
Oh,
and then that period of time where the interviewer moved on, but he was like, you could see he was thinking about what he had said, like, oh crap, I've said too much.
yeah, you
And
can almost see him like reading something on the screen. You can see the color of his, like the computer screen, like he was, like maybe Jack was live too, or him,
What?
he had a connection,
Well, at one point, I thought he looked quite panic stricken when he realized what he had done, what he had said. And he was keen to get back in there before the interview ended and backpedal of what he said. He was like, oh, actually, thinking about it, maybe I don't know if there's anyone close to Jeff, and he got
he
all
said,
flustered.
I misspoke. I shouldn't have said that, because that's not, I misunderstood the question.
But the question was so simple, though, wasn't it? Does anybody else know where the chest was? It's a simple question.
Yeah.
How
And
can you
he's just like,
understand that?
oh yeah, there's all these people that know.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was obvious that what happened there. Bless him. But isn't it funny that Forrest Fenn had 10 years of interviews and TV shows, and he made hardly any slip-ups and no obvious ones. And poor Dan comes along, and the first interview is in, he drops a clanger straight off the bat. I think that's quite funny.
I know. I was thinking that same thing. I was thinking,
he literally lasted like 5 minutes before he dropped a clanger. So
like, he's gonna blow it. I mean, he's gonna blow this if he knows. He doesn't know. It's like he's acting like he doesn't know understand the sensitivity of every little word. But he was saying like, searchers hang on every word, and so he was talking about that. So he must be aware that we're going to do that to what we hear out of his mouth, because he's the only one that has direct contact. And the way he talked about introducing Jack to all of us, or to the world, in that article, the way he made it sound like he already knew Jack's name. He already knew Jack. I don't think he's gonna. I'm gonna
Well,
watch these interviews.
ju-
He's gonna
ju-
blow it.
I'm looking forward to when he gets interviewed by a searcher who knows what
Yes.
questions to ask.
Chase and
You know-
Indy. I wonder if Chase and Indy's gonna get him. But no,
I don't know.
K-Pro and Mike have him. K-Pro and Mike have him,
Well,
and
you
so
know,
does
Very
Amy
good.
Speaks.
you know, Caper is going to ask some good questions, some hard hitting questions. That's going to make him, I don't know, crack maybe. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
I know, and I hope these are live, and Amy too.
I think they are. I think they are going to be live. Yeah.
Those are the best because you can too late, when it's
I almost feel
cats out
so.
of bag.
I almost feel sorry for poor Dan. He doesn't know what's coming, does he?
He's been in the community since 2017. Isn't that what he said? That's what I surmised from this. And then he got the book deal in 2018 because he worked on the book before. You have to present something before, you just
Well,
get a book deal.
originally the book was about the community and the people involved in it. It wasn't about the chase so much. It was about the people. But then, as luck would have it for him, it's been found. So now it's become more about Jack, as I understand. But
Yeah, I don't know. I know. I can't wait to see.
But the
So
book's out,
did
right?
you order the book?
Yeah, I've ordered it, but I know that some people have got copies, haven't they? I know that certain people have got copies.
Well, I
already.
think those people were actually part of the book or in the book or maybe interviewed by, or certain press people like that. Rudy Max, the guy, he is a legit press person. Like I've watched many things from Rudy Maxa before on public television. So he's a legit. So
If Dan didn't be this smart, he wouldn't interview me.
Oh,
because I would know the perfect questions to ask just to make rack, since he was Jack's partner, on searches and whatnot.
No, Dan said he was not Jack's partner.
No, I thought he was.
I asked him that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because he was acting like.
Well, he said his search partner was searching in Wyoming, and I was like, okay. And like him and Jackie were similar age as well. So I was like, well, I've got to ask the question. And I asked him outright, was Jack your search partner? And it wasn't.
And
I guess that makes sense.
Journalists.
His search partner was a friend, some other guy. I don't know. It wasn't Jack.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Because if Jack wasn't his search partner, then why would he try to find out who wrote the Medium article and then contact that person?
Well, because they're spinning the story, I mean.
Yeah. But just from a logical standpoint, why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? Just logically speaking. If they weren't search partners. You know what I'm saying?
I find it hard to know what to believe now. It's become that complicated and that murky. I genuinely don't know who to believe or what to believe. I'm just waiting for it all to come out. And it will come out. It will. It always does. But I change I change where I am every day. Like one day I'm here, next day I'm here, then I'm here. I can't make my mind up what to think.
I know. And the more I know. I was, Jack did this on his own, hook, line, and sinker. That was my, I was that fish. Now I'm like, this is all too perfect. It seems so set up.
And
the cast of characters were being dealt. And at the time that they're being introduced, this.
It's almost scripted, isn't it? It's almost been like
it seems very.
This happens, scripted. And then this happens, and this happens, and this happens.
Very aligned. I see my name. I guess that he and Jack don't live close after all. Oh, really?
Well, apparently, years ago, they did live within 10 miles of each other. Back when.
Oh, and that was just like a happenstance.
Apparently.
Not like
it's another herring to throw into the mix.
Dave Bradshaw says, Susie, read my last comment. Okay. Let me see. The poem is a masterpiece of literature. It definitely needs every accolade mentioned. Able to read and solve the poem.
Lucky Digger asks, were you the only one in the chat or the interview? No, there was about 10 people, but from what I could make out, there was only 3 or 4 searches. There was me, Chasing Indie, Galaxy, and
Galaxy,
and
Granite
Granny. Yeah, they were the searches that I recognized, but there's only 10 people in there, so not many people knew about it. Chasing Indie messaged me about it. I want to know.
Yeah, how did you know about it? Good question. That's a good question.
Yeah, Candy sent me the link. I was like, "What's this?" And I opened it up, and I was like, "Wow!" But there was 10 people in the chat. That was all there was. So I don't know. I don't know how Candy knew about it.
Yeah, I'm sus.
Everything.
I'm sus of Candy now.
Is she in the chat? I'll have to ask her. I don't know. I don't know how she knew about it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was good though, because I got to ask the guy questions, but it was so short. It was 15 minutes he was on for? He wasn't on very long. Not long enough.
Yeah, not long enough.
But long enough to make a slip up.
And epic one at that. I think it was epic because it's like, and then and the way he handled it is
it was quite comical. But didn't it confirm what we kind of already knew, that we knew that other people know the solution?
It only makes sense that people know, including Jack's lawyer, Forrest's lawyer, probably Shiloh.
Do you think Shiloh knows?
I think he knows the whole damn story. I think he knows everything about it. I think he always did.
Didn't he say he didn't know in
well,
the chat
yeah,
room?
He's gonna say that, and he's gonna play dumb in chat, and he's gonna. But I mean,
this is what I mean. Who do you believe? If you can't, everyone seems to be okay with lying about everything.
I don't lie.
I know.
That's the thing. I won't ever do. I won't ever lie. If I know something, I will let.
Well, I wish everyone was like you, Tyler. Unfortunately, it seems that people are happy to lie about what they know, like it's nothing.
Yeah, and there's got to be motive behind it. Like, what is this true motive we got here? I mean, what is our end game? What is Jack's end game? What is where does it?
I think
is it movie? Is it a movie deal? Are we all gonna find out the real chase? In movie form?
Jack said, didn't he, that he wasn't going to be in any books, no documentaries. He said that originally, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think he said something along the lines of he wanted the searchers to figure it out for themselves or something like that.
He said he wanted no part of any documentaries, and now we find out he signed up to a documentary, so he's going to be on a documentary. So that was another
good
falsehood.
Because I refuse to listen to that. I don't believe it. This was too big. It was too much. It's to take it and bolt and say you're done, and you scram doodle. This story is too much. It's too big to just go. It's done.
Like I said, the main storyline for the location lies within the Donnie and Finn story for looking for Lewis and Clark.
It's painful, Tyler.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Correlate it with Davy Crockett.
David Crockett. What's that got to do with anything?
Coonskin caps, and Forrest's mom made him his hat.
Oh, okay.
That's all I can correlate.
Where's your book at?
Right there. No. No, I'm not going to play. You are not Jack Tyler.
The only book that I'm interested in right now is that Dan Barbarisi book.
She saw exactly what I'm talking about. That's why I said, look at your book.
I want to get the Dan Barbarisi book and see what's in there. See if there's anything.
No need for it. The whole
Juicy.
answer right than what I just told her. The Blaze. Go ahead.
Adam, did you hear about the interview that came out today that I was talking about earlier? There's another.
Yeah, I've not listened to it yet. I'm going to listen to it tonight, but I've heard there's a couple of nuggets in there as well.
Kind of scandalous.
Well, I've heard that. I don't want to say too much because I've not listened to it yet, but I've heard there's a couple of
allegations
of misconduct
from searcher ladies who were perhaps solicited for nude photos.
Forrest.
I mean, I don't think it's a deal. I don't think it's a deal breaker at all.
I don't want to hear this though. I had this vision of like the granddad I never had. I don't want to hear about him soliciting women for God knows what. It kind of smashes my illusion of the guy. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, what else is going to come out? It's like the more you find out, the more you know, the less you want to know, isn't it? It's one of them.
100%. And that's what I told Candy. I mean, I was like, everything I know that I figured out, I'm just like, I wish I'd even never figured it out in the first place. It sucks because now everyone's freaking asking me questions. What do you know that we don't know? I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, no one's perfect. Everyone's got their flaws, haven't they? And maybe women with one of Forrest's flaws, and we have to accept that, I guess.
Yeah. Who cares? Who cares? It's like a man being a man. Oh my God. A married man asks another woman for a naked photo. Oh, what? Unbelievable. Good Lord.
It won't be the first time, would it?
No.
Doesn't make it right, though.
Doesn't
make it right.
Human. See what you can get away with. Who cares? I don't care. I mean, that's like what a big crime, you know.
So Dan so have you listened to the interview then? So you've heard it
right before Hooli sent it to me, right before I came on. So I was listening to it while I was trying to get ready to do this, and it was I need to listen to it again, because the more, after listening to it, it just seems like this guy knew more. He knows, like, I think he knows the whole dang story. I think this guy really does know it all.
Everything, including the location.
I think he's not going to admit it, and he's not going to deny it. It's just going to be like, I'm not going to, it's like he must have, but he's going to, I think he's going to, get him live. We need to come up with more questions for him, because I think we're going to totally.
Well, yeah, I'm all over that. Why would Jack tell Dan the location though? Why would he need to?
What if
it's just one more person to let it slip, isn't it? And Dan might well let it slip.
What if he signed a non-disclosure agreement? What if there's legal schmiegel between the author and Jack?
Yeah,
what if there is some sort of, I'm going to tell you so you understand this whole scope, but you only have my permission to say this much,
Yeah, but he could understand it all without knowing the exact location, couldn't he? He doesn't really need to know. I mean, you could be right, but I'll be surprised if Dan knows the location.
I would think he knows the location before he knows the solution. The cracking of the poem. I think that's going to be the guarded information. The actual spot, be it, it was along the Madison River, blah blah, or wherever.
It used to be.
The quarry, it was near the quarry, wherever.
one nugget that came out of the interview, I thought, was he said it was in a remote area. That's why Jack was okay to leave it overnight, because it was so remote, which kind of, in my opinion, puts doubt about the touristy locations, because you wouldn't describe those as remote, would you?
I know, but would you describe it as, what if the tourist location was here, and then across the street where there are no trails, there are no anything, but it's across the street and over there,
well,
like,
yeah. To me, remote's not over the street though. It's got to be like a good way away to be remote.
Yeah, that is true. It's your own idea of what remote means or what that is,
Sure, it's everyone's own ideologies behind the isolation.
Yeah. But of course, for that to matter, you've got to believe that Jack left the chest there overnight, which
he definitely did.
I believe he did.
I don't believe he did. I don't believe he did. I think he told Forrest he did, but I don't believe he did. I think he took it with him and just told Forrest he had left it. Maybe
it makes sense that he wasn't. Yeah, but why wouldn't I know? It's like,
can you imagine going back the next morning and it's gone? You'll never get over that. I wouldn't. It would haunt me to my dying day.
But he knew no one was gonna find it.
How could he have known? Knew. There could have been one person right behind him.
Because of the remoteness of it. Like he's like, I searched and searched and searched, and I couldn't find it for this long, and I knew the exact location. So somebody overnight, by the time I can get here in 14 hours from now, back,
Sod's law can be a bitch though, can't it? He actually overslept, didn't he, as well? He actually lay in. He wasn't even in a rush to go and get it, apparently.
And I was talking about that a little earlier. I don't know if you were in this room or if it was before you joined, but the idea of the explanation, do not touch, in Teachers with Ropes, that those red bold letters with the red exclamation in the thrill of the chase that says do not touch, and how that anomaly, how can that be used in the poem? And then I put it down in the last stanza. Like, those are the instructions. Like, here, like this part of the poem tells you, here it is. And then the bottom part, that's where that hear me all and listen good. Does that mean, does that tie back into the book where it do not touch? And then your effort will be worth the cold. Can you translate that into something else, like don't touch it, call me up, turn it into Yellowstone, or whatever it is. I mean, whatever the instruction was, is if the do not touch was a part of the instruction in the poem, and that's why Jack left it there overnight. It's just
possibly.
I'm on the verge of knocking out. What's knocking out?
Passing out, maybe, I think. Going to sleep.
Hi, Candy. We were, have you been listening? We were talking about that interview of Dan Barbarisi's.
I thought of a question for y'all. This is a great fucking question. This is great. What if Forrest Fenn pre-wrote the narrative for someone going with confidence to his special spot, which is why he would know that nobody would find it?
Say that again, mate. Sorry.
What if possibly Forrest pre-wrote the narrative for someone would go to his special spot in confidence?
Oh, he did. I mean, he told us that we're going to be confident.
But how would you know?
There's got to be a way. There's got to be an unlock. There's got to be a key. There's got to be a way. Because Jack did. He knew. So,
I I
You know,
guess
so
what I'm trying to get at is correlate that with him sleeping overnight. How would you know nobody would find it?
we have enough mysteries. We don't need to develop more mysteries. You need to just tell me what you're saying. I'm not going to sit here and try to think about what you're, I can't.
The time for riddles is over, Tyler, mate.
It's
we
over.
need answers, mate.
Either you're
Less
going to tell
riddles,
us
more
something.
answers.
Yeah. Either you're going to share something and tell us something or not. I'm not, I don't.
The chest has been found now. We just need to work out how it was found and what the answers were and what the poem meant and where it was found. Then I can go to bed.
Exactly.
And leave you all to it.
Exactly.
I'm not asking much, am I?
No, it's
Apparently
called.
I guess I'll say this. I asked that question for a reason because Forrest Fan pretty much said if I told you the location, you would not believe me. Why? Scrapbook 101. I think that's right.
No idea. Riddle me this, Tyler.
I don't do the scrapbooks. I didn't go into them.
Lucky Digger or Hooli can fix me if I'm wrong.
Susie, was there anything else in that interview today that came out of interest other than the scandal?
He basically was talking about the same. He was basically using the same terminology and talking the same way he was during the Rudy Maxa interview.
Yeah.
And introduced the information in the same manner. And it definitely made it seem like he was talking about more than just it just seems like this is so much more about the searchers, the community, the how, the what this is.
Yeah. He's more interested in the people, isn't he? In the psychology of the chase, I believe, than the actual chest itself. At least that's what I got out of my interview, the one that I saw. Because, like I said, the book was originally about the people rather than the solution itself.
Yeah, that's what he started out. But it just seems so neatly tied up with a bow. This whole story seems so.
What's your opinion on Nudgegate? The whole nudge thing. I've not heard your thoughts on that. Do you buy into that?
What is this you speak of?
No, Forrest arranging it to be ended by giving someone a nudge, telling someone to tell someone where it was.
Who made? Oh, this was Dow that made this up, right? Or was it Cynthia? It was one of them two.
Well, it's something that a lot of people buy into now.
No,
it seems more and more likely.
Well, we knew
if it was set up, Forrest Fan wouldn't have been upset or looked like he was upset. He would have just been like, "It is what it is. I did it. All right, cool."
Well, we know that he told Dow that he was thinking about ending it, so it was definitely in his mind.
It was, yeah, for sure. It was definitely in his mind, but would he really even have Jack Stoops' contact information just to end it? Because Jack Stoops was really not. He was under the radar and came out of nowhere. And
you don't know who he really is either. I mean, it's Jack Stoops,
yeah,
but you don't know any of the behind the scene. Who knows who?
I think
he knew. I know in 2018 they had a 20-second call, but even still, then I don't think Forrest Fenn really knew Jack Stoops and was someone trustworthy. It was associated with Fenn like Dow was. I think if anything, he would have had Dow pull it if it was to be pulled, because them two were very, very close, or even maybe Douglas Preston. Those are only two that I can think of. That maybe...
I don't think he could have used a popular Fenn searcher. That would have been too dodgy to do that. I think if he was going to pull it, it would have to have used someone unknown or relatively unknown. Like if Cynthia Can you imagine if Cynthia found it and then it came out that Forrest gave her a nudge toward it? People would go mad, wouldn't they?
But what if it, people would go mad, but there you go. There's another spin on the story. What if Cynthia did find it, or was it part of a search team that did find it, and they have Jack as their front man? They have somebody that can handle interview, journalist. I mean, somebody that has been trained in. He was a med student, for God's sake. I mean, the guy is smart. So he, I'm not ruling out that he could be a front man to a whole nother,
Yeah. Again,
and any way you look at it, I think he knows, even if he wasn't, I think he knows the whole story and the solution and the whole thing. Any way you look at it, I think Jack knows the answers because he was the one sitting at the table with Forrest in those pictures with the chest.
Oh yeah,
So,
Jack's involved for sure, but I'm not convinced that he's the solver. I think he's the finder, but I'm not convinced he found it fair and square. And I'm kind of like 65% now towards Nudgegate, that Forrest told someone to tell Jack. Well, I think the theory is that Forrest told someone close to him to end it, and then that person found Jack somehow, and then Jack found it via a nudge. And then Forrest passed, and then here we are in limbo, not knowing what's going on.
Lucky Digger says, if Jack is a front man, then where the heck did they find that guy?
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but we don't know any connect. It's like maybe he's the nephew. I mean, he could be somebody went to school with. He could be somebody. It's like, I know a guy that he's a writer and he can. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think that would be.
I mean, Jack's he's a good writer. He's a good wordsmith. So he ticks that box, doesn't he? What?
I just received $100 from that little ding ding you just heard. That was my phone. From Matthew. I'm not gonna say I don't know who this is for real. Okay, he says, okay, hi Susie. I just wanted to support your channel a little bit. I was new to the chase when it ended, but I really enjoy your video panels and discussing the chase and the ending. Thanks. So sweet.
Nice,
thank you so
ever, Susie?
much, Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. He just gave me $100.
Wow.
Is that your first $100 ever on the panel or the show?
What happened?
Is that your first $100 ever on the show?
No, people give me money all the time. I don't understand.
People love your content, Susie. That's why. That's why there's 81 people watching.
Susie, read my last post. Okay.
Oh, I've lost you. Hang on.
Hints for you. Forrest Fenn said, ID. I'd often look up words and find the true meaning. He also said, I ended a sentence with a period. Nobody does that. There's way more. It's all in the poem at Susie Fennhaven. It is all in the poem, right? You're right. That makes me think of that exclamation thing again, the do not touch with a black period and then do not touch with a red exclamation. That's interesting, isn't it, Dave Bradshaw? And why those two oddities are thrown in that book. These are the things we need to know. This is the answers we need. Why?
Too far into it.
Why did he make those words red and only those words in the whole book? There's got to be an answer. And if it's just a red herring, just to throw us all off, that's wah, wah.
There's a-
But
there's a
still,
message.
those are the things that are going to keep people up at night.
Do you think he put red herrings in the book?
No,
I
I think
hope not. That's mean.
That would be mean,
about red
wouldn't it?
herring.
And so that's like maybe the red
obvious, obvious clues that look like clues but are nothing. That would be mean, wouldn't it? It's hard enough as it is. We don't need red herrings.
If that was the case, and I think he didn't do it on purpose. If anything, it was just a mess up or a mistake or error, as I would call it.
Yeah, well, that's not a red herring if it's a mistake. It has to be deliberate to be a red herring.
But I definitely know for sure that he did put certain things within the field of chase that would stand out, that people may or may not have caught eye attention to or put eye attention to.
Yeah, Gallatin Go says red herrings are what we made them. That's true.
100%. Gigi, hats off to you.
People make up their own red herrings, don't they? See things that aren't there.
And that's Jack's video, his cognitive bias video. And I have that actually queued up. I was going to go through, now that I have permission to actually show it. I was going to do that again because it's like listening to him over and over, or listening to that video over and over, I think is just going to give us clues to how he did this. Why else does that video exist? Why did he put that out there and leave it out there?
Well,
if it's not for the
answered that
searchers.
one night. I think what he was trying to do is get people away and trying to get people that were stuck on their own solves away from that and thinking like Forrest Fenn did. I think that was his whole purpose and ideology behind doing what he did.
Did that work for you?
It worked for me. Yeah. I mean, it took me a while to get out of that scenario where other people are stuck on. But it took me to do something for the community to get me off of it.
Is it true that it took Jack 3 weeks to solve the puzzle?
That's what he said. But he also said that he had gone through Forrest's previous writings. Like, so how in 3 weeks could you go through his previous books and previous writings and figure out the poem? I mean, does that mean, is he talking about all the scrapbooks? Is he talking about the Joseph Henry Sharp book, the what's the other artist, all those guys, Eric Sloan, including, you could. So he said he processed all that literature.
You know what? I'm going to mention this since Susie just brought it up. I'm going to give you JF again.
Okay.
You just mentioned the name that really hit the nail on the head.
Joseph Henry Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gallatin says she can't.
That's why I said Scrapbook 101, because that's why Forrest Fenn said, if I told you, nobody would believe me, because originally he told people that wasn't there because, one, people were digging there and he was trying to get that to stop so people would never do that again. And also, second thing, he wanted someone to go with confidence, which is why I asked, do you think possibly Forrest Fenn pre-wrote the narrative of someone going in confidence to his special spot because he wanted someone to do
that? Every searcher goes in confidence, don't they? Every searcher is convinced they're correct. Like, they've all told me that they've all said that when they went boots on the ground, they were going to get that treasure. No doubt in their mind.
Since you know, where I'm at now, Susan, since you hit the nail on the head, I'm gonna mention this. This was what caught my eye last night, and it really made me go, "What the fuck?" This was sitting in my face the whole damn time. So the cover, right? What's on that cover that someone is wearing the Davy Crockett hat? Who's wearing it? On the cover.
We're not going to play the clues anymore. You're just going to tell us. Forrest has
Boys, yep.
Forrest has Davy Crockett's hat on the
And
front
blaze
cover.
is in that fucking picture. The blaze is in the picture, and so is the Madison River.
There you have it, folks. You heard it here first.
I
Straight
saw it
from
and
the
I said,
mouth
"What
of a
the fuck?"
non-finder.
Wait, is that a solve I just heard? Is that a solve I just heard? Is that the solve? I don't.
And you know what? I thought about this also. So that picture, and I was thinking it when you were talking. Pictures speak 1,000 words, and Forrest Fenn put that on the cover for a reason, because that was a way for people, the searchers, to try to interpret that as the looking for Lewis and Clark story. That's why he put that there, because that was when they first, like, maybe first saw the blaze. I'm just speaking with a grain of salt, but it's plausible that's when they first saw the blaze, or maybe made another trip to it.
Hey, you guys, I am gonna take a quick potty break. I'm gonna stop
Okay.
my video. I'll be right back.
It's me and you then, Tyler.
But that's why Jack told me, because I put this in the presentation that hopefully Chasing Indy will present. Jack Stoop told me, because I asked him, I said, why is it that Forrest Fenn's shadow is casted over the Madison River? And he goes, it's been a while since I've read the book Too Far to Walk, but if I'm not mistaken, it was because Forrest Fenn wanted to tie himself onto a raft onto the Madison River. And as soon as I saw that picture, I said, holy shit, that's why he fucking said that shit, because of the Thrill of the Chase cover, in a sense.
Chasing Indy's going to present this for you, did you say?
It's not officially, but I'm hoping and living on her purse she will, because I made her owner of the presentation.
Have you asked her yet?
I'll let her know. I told her,
sure.
don't let her know.
I'm sure she will.
She will. I told her, because she had some information pertaining to the Joseph Henry Sharp blog cabin that she found, that she sent me a while ago. I think it was one night when I was having a rough night, and me and her talked about it. So I told her she could put that stuff in there and add it to it, and then present it. But she got some interesting stuff. She had a picture of Forrest Fenn and Peggy at a model contest at the Buffalo Center of the West. A beer. Jeez. My dog's eating the grass, or the what do they call it? The monkey grass.
Yeah, dogs will do that.
Yeah, he's sitting there eating it up. That's why I just threw my little beer tab thing onto the can right at him, or near him.
Mine used to eat grass until it was sick, and then it would go and eat more, and then it would go and eat more grass and repeat.
It was every fucking day. I'm like, Jesus Christ, stop.
It's like it doesn't understand. That's why you're being sick, because you're eating grass.
Yeah. But he's usually a good listener. Like, if I tell him, like, no, and like give him a little tap on the nose, he knows not to do it. But I can sit here watching him.
Man, dogs are great listeners. I talk to my dog all the time. Well, I did when I had him. He's gone now, but I used to have long conversations, albeit one-way conversations. But he listened. He knew what I was saying. Of sorts.
Here's my buddy. I don't know if you can see him because it's dark down where I am, where he is.
What kind of dog is he?
It's a husky.
Wow. Man, I love dogs.
Okay, I'm back.
He's sitting here in the pine straw next to the monkey grass.
We're looking at Tyler's dog eating grass, making it sound poorly.
Davio has a question. What is the 41st and the 42nd words from the bottom, counting from the bottom? I don't know, Davio. You just need to say.
I'm going to guess what was the question?
What is the 41st and 42nd words in the poem, counting from the bottom?
I don't know.
Why is that? Why is 41 and 42? Why are those the important words? I get I like the idea of reading the poem from the bottom up somehow.
Adam.
Could be a possibility because that's how you read maps.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna give him a treat because I called him up here for one.
are you, Tyler?
So
are you talking?
So if
I
you
would
read
kill
it,
my dog.
if you read it back, if you read it from the bottom up, you start with finding the chest and end with
Shit.
with warm water halt. Is that how would that work?
Pa.
Right. No, it can't. It won't. It
Well, it
doesn't.
might. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just.
I don't think so.
asking the
You know
question.
why? Because I just remembered, because I did have that as a theory and did work with it for a while. And I was like, and I couldn't remember, like, yeah, why didn't I want to do? Because Forrest himself, when he was describing writing his poem, he's like, an architect wrote that poem. And then he described it as, he actually had hand gestures. You go like this. The clues are consecutive, and he made hand gestures like this.
Okay.
Beginning at where Warm Waters Halt is the first location, and that he said too. That was just a voice interview though. But that other one, when he described how he went, like he didn't go,
Yeah.
he went
Start at the top and going down.
the poem. You go down the canyon, down the poem, and you follow it like a map. Start here, turn there, or go, or is it going to be more specific? Go south, go north, go west, go. Is it going to be that kind of directions, or is it going to be go to the rock on the right? I don't know.
It's going to be simple. I'm telling you now. When it all comes out, we're all going to be like, "Wow, it really was simple, but genius." Simple,
And I
yet
think
genius.
it's all going to be hidden in the book. The whole key to unlock it's hidden right in the book.
Do you think so? Do you think you need the book? Do you think you need the book to unlock the poem?
Yes.
So you can't solve it without the book.
Agreed.
I disagree.
Agreed. And
I
he
disagree.
said he did say that you could.
I think the book makes it easier, but I don't think you need the book.
Well, he said it's possible to do it with just the poem, but not likely, or something like that. Not and what that tells me is the actual instructions as to start here, go here, blah blah blah. However the poem reads the instructions, I forgot what I was going to say. Went right over my head.
I think the blaze is in the book.
It is.
Yes, the book, the clues in the book, because yes, the blaze has got to be in the book.
I agree.
Or the tell us what the blaze is in the book.
It's in
Where Warm Waters Halt tells us in the book. Clearly, it's going to be a without a doubt start. And
Actually, no, I take that back.
So there's going to be confirmers in the book.
I think so.
Yeah.
Even though Jack said, or there's going to be, it's about how you use those confirmers.
No,
it's confirmation bias. He uses it as how you use those confirmers. Meaning if, oh my God, I can no longer hold a conversation. I can only go like 10 seconds out and then my brain shuts down. I can't do it.
I probably know the answer to this, but I can't think of it right now. I can't grasp it. He said Jack took 3 weeks to solve it. Jack got into the chase 2018, right? Is that correct? Jack got into the chase 2018. And so we imagine that he took 3 weeks to work it out in 2018. So why did it take him so long to find the chest? Was it all the boots on the ground, all the 25 whatever boots on the ground, spaced over a year or so?
Yeah, because the poem in the book told him exactly where to go, and so he kept going there until he figured out exactly where, because the blaze was damaged. Is the story that we've been dealt. The hand we've been dealt is
but what book
blaze,
Forrest
cruelly
said,
made fake blaze.
Forrest said though, solve the poem And I do believe this. If you solve it as it should be solved, it takes you right to the chest. Not 25 days walking around trying to find it.
You can go straight to it.
That's what he said.
But the blaze was damaged. He had a broken blaze. And so the poem would lead you right to it, but the blaze wasn't there anymore. It wasn't the right thing. It was broken. It got screwed up somehow. And if he could just tell us what the hell, you know what? He could tell us what the blaze was without giving out anything. He could tell us if it was a rock, a tree.
It won't be a tree. It's not long. It's not long lasting enough.
Right, but whatever.
It's got to be a rock, mark on a rock. It's got to be. I don't think. I can't think what else it could be.
There's millions of rocks out there, and he said there's millions of blazes. You know, you just got to find the right one. Whatever Forrest quote about finding the blaze, about being many millions of blazes. So it does have to be something really common, like a rock, because there are millions of rocks, marks on rocks. There's millions of those as well. So finding the right one. And it's about finding the right one. But so he had to find the right one. You know, you're looking for a good rock. He said that more than once in The Thrill of the Chase. So if you are looking for that good rock and it was damaged, that could be the explanation of why it took him so long. And he did say too that he was in the wrong area or the wrong forest in the same area, or the wrong, you know, like it was within the same area, but in a different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
a
then
different spot in the same
and
forest.
Then to make it even more complicated, you've got the fake blaze that he talks about.
The devil blaze.
Apparently someone made a fake blaze.
That fake blaze. And so that tells us that this place is, you know, even if that's a fabricated hint for all of us searchers, or you know, if this is a fabricated story and that is a fabricated blaze story of it, why would or not why, how
so you look,
oh, my brain shuts off after 5 seconds.
That's the drink. What are you drinking, by the way? What are you on? Are you drinking?
No, I got one of these and I went there.
Is that fruit cider?
Kind of, yeah. It's a black cherry cider.
Yeah,
it's a malt beverage.
I've been drinking.
But it's only 3% alcohol, so it's still not.
Yeah, but if you have like 10 of them, they add up, don't they?
I know. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be number 5. So.
Oh, okay. So you're getting there. Fair enough. Lucky Dicker said, Forrest Fenn said that you could go straight to it 10 years ago. After 10 years, I'm sure things are different. But why would they be different after 10 years?
He also said, if I told you where the Homer Brown was, you go straight to it.
I want to go back to the fake blaze and why did it, and why that part became it. If that was a fabricated part of the story, why was that put in, or what is or why would there be more than one searcher? How did he know it was another searcher that did it? It has to be a Forrest Fenn. It had to be an FF. It had to be omega symbols. It had to be maybe double omega symbols. It had to be a rainbow. Had to be undoubtedly a Forrest Fenn symbol.
Absolutely.
And so that's why he said another searcher. So that puts another searchers, or many searchers have been within 200 feet or 100 feet or whatever that is.
Our final location.
So if it's something like that, it seems like a common ground. It seems like a common ground. It doesn't seem remote. It seems like something that's been already searched. And it's kind of like this, if this is a narrated story, kind of like a other searchers have been there and you guys were all, you know, close, or, you know, Forrest has a really funny quote about how there's so many great solves out there. How can they all be wrong? Forrest said that. Like, there's so many, everybody's got so many great songs. How can they
Yeah.
all be wrong? So obviously they were not all wrong. It's just, it had to have been something messed it
Well,
up.
also, why would you leave a fake blaze? I mean, why would you do that? Such a bizarre thing to do.
It's kind of
Like,
leaving your mark. I've been there, like, I think like maybe they solved the poem in the way it was supposed to and went, even if this isn't special to Forrest, this seems special to me, and I'm gonna leave that mark, or or I don't know what. Yeah, it's a good question. Why would you?
well, I was thinking people do it to be vindictive, but maybe that isn't. Maybe, like you say, people
No,
did
I
it.
don't think a person would, go out there, another fellow searcher, out into the wilds, out into the road, and make arrange FF out of logs on the ground or whatever this fake plays is.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna do that. If they're out searching for the treasure, and they're not gonna leave the treasure there. Obviously, they didn't find it. Obviously they didn't find it. They're not going to just leave it there.
Well, I think what happened is this. I think someone was searching within the general area, and I think someone carved something into something just to make it fit their saw as the final location where the chest was.
Susie, I think someone's in the lobby waiting to come in.
Oh.
Dave, apparently.
I don't see anybody.
Oh,
did I miss it already? I could have screwed it up.
Lucky Digger said Dave's waiting in the lobby.
Try again.
Yeah, come back. Come back in, Dave. Or anybody, in fact.
I know. Why not? Jump in the conversation. There's the link. Join us. And I promise I'll pay attention. Or you guys remind me to pay attention. Hi, Redneck Express. How's it going tonight? Nice to see you. Zoza Rock. Have you ever watched them? I do encourage episode 4, 5, and 6. What are you talking? These guys have their own thing going on in the chat, it seems.
Wow, that's crazy. So Forrest Fenn made page 99 fit as if the Madison River still existed where the treasure chest was. Or yeah. Did I say that?
I mean, that's interesting from Whammy. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but they said, Fenn said there are millions of blazers. How do you know which one's fake? And that's a good point.
And Lavender Blonde did a good point too. Maybe to throw somebody off because they were close. Maybe.
So that is vindictive, isn't it? Naughty. I don't know why. To throw someone off
because he wanted the chase to last longer. Maybe he sent out.
Yeah, but whoever made that fake blaze didn't have the chest. So how did they know that they were in the right area to make a fake blaze?
Exactly. So they solved somebody. So just like Forrest said, there's so many great solves out there. How can they all be wrong?
I know a few people that were at the spot that
somebody else has got it. Somebody else already did it. Somebody else. And we know Jack did. So we've got, he said he was sent pictures. He was sent pictures of somebody. He recognized the area. They were within 200 feet or yards, whatever, irrelevant. It seems way too close. Either way.
I think what happened, the actual blaze, and Adam's not going to agree with me, but back when the Sharp cabin was not where it was back on the Crow reservation. You just had the Pinyon Pine and the Madison River. And the Pinyon Pine was a natural tree that grew in the original area. And it used to be, the spot used to be a part of the Yellowstone National Park. And I think back during, forget what year, I'm going to look it up. When Prince Monaco or Albert Prince Albert II of Monaco, who was the prince then, met, who was it? Buffalo Bill, I think it was. There was a forest fire that broke out of Yellowstone National Park. And I think that fire there spread to the spot. But then the other portion.
Fire damaged rocks. Fire can damage rocks.
Yeah. It can blacken them and hide the blaze.
Well, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something. I'll show what I want to.
If you made a mark on a rock and it got burnt, like badly burnt by fire, it would blacken the whole thing and hide the mark. So I think a fire is a real possibility how it was damaged, or an earthquake that broke the rock and made it fall down.
There's so many earthquakes. Yes, there's so many earthquakes.
I think what happened is it was already burned. This was probably 1800s, 1900s, but even still, Forrest Fenn knew of a spot way back down yonder, way to go. And does he hear the trust? What, maybe 2010? But that's what I was getting to. But how would he know? Why would physics tell him the treasure chest? What? That's my other question.
Well, that one's easy. I mean, that's a basic outdoors. Anything outdoors is going to get wet overnight. Put your whatever out there. Your lawn chair is going to turn wet overnight. But I'm going to enter into the room. We have Davio 22 and Dave Bradshaw.
Yay.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Good night, Rosie.
Yes, good day. We got everybody. We got them from all over the world. Look at this.
Technology is amazing, isn't it? It's a good thing.
What an amazing thing. What an amazing thing that Forrest Fenn has done. Has connected people from all over the world. Now look at it in one little place.
You see that, Adam?
Yes. What am I looking at?
Oh, let me go back to present.
Oh, yeah.
So right here, that's the blaze. That's the pinyon pine, and then I'm going to show you something else.
That was a blaze.
Yes, that was.
What is it? It's just a hole in the trees, isn't it?
Huh?
It's just a hole in the trees, isn't it?
I've never been to the spot, but I know where it's at. Not precisely, but I can find it when I get there. So next to the tree, you ready for this? I'm gonna show you I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. Where is it? Susie's gonna know this one before I show it. So I'm gonna give you a little tidbit. So I had an interesting theory on this one, but this is probably going off limb, but I could be right. Who knows? I think Forrest Fenn, when he was maybe a young kid, maybe a teen, his grandmother may or may not have had a job as a baker at the Buffalo Center of the West. As you know, they have a food court there. And Forrest Fenn, I guess, maybe used to go to his special spot when he visited the Buffalo Center of the West, with his family and whatnot. And he'd visit this spot right here. See that, Susie?
Okay, yeah, I do.
And what looks to be right there in the back side of the tree that we all know of.
What?
The legendary nook.
Oh, well, what I find most interesting about the photo or the illustration you happen to be showing right there is the one on the previous page of the same exact scene where there's a crust on the pie that's not on that pie. The crust has disappeared.
Yeah, that's
what I find more interesting than the actual.
I think his grandmother was a baker and used to make pies, and I think his grandmother taught him how to, used all the spices and whatnot, and like the pinyon nuts and like pies and stuff like that, and that's why he always grew a fascination with pinyon pie.
Okay.
Hey, g'day guys. Hey, can I just butt in for a second?
Yes, please do.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm not going to stay a great deal of time, but g'day Susie, Davio, Adam, and Tyler. How you going?
G'day. I love that.
Hey, I want to bring to everybody's attention that I think we need to be looking at this from another perspective. All along, Forrest has indicated to us that you must solve the poem. So let's think about that for a moment and all the things that Forrest has said. And one of those things I'm talking about, we've touched on it a few times, and it's like it was found in Wyoming. It was found under a canopy of stars. He never went in a canyon down. The poem says, take it in a canyon down. But remember also where Forrest indicated to us that he himself had to look up words to find the true meaning and definition. Do we recall that?
Yes, he first sure said that. And then he tried to say, oh, I just use whatever words, I don't care. And then he said he looked up every word as a writer.
So let's hang on to that for a second. He also indicated that irrelevant of what it is you were trying to write or say, it only meant something to the person that read it. And if they could understand it, what did a punctuation matter? Remember that?
It didn't matter. If the word wasn't even a real word, but the readers understood what they were saying, what you were saying, then doesn't matter.
All right. So now let's put that into the poem. When you end a sentence with a period, it's not correct grammar. And forgive me for my schooling, because I'm not up to date on the English language, punctuation and all the like. But if you go through and do some research on words themselves that are in the poem, and it'll take a great deal of attention to detail, but it actually tells you to remove all the spaces and all the punctuation. We're not mucking around with the poem. The poem is exactly as it's written. It's just you've removed spaces. So, Susie, would you mind bringing the poem up on the screen there for me for one moment? I'll quickly show you one thing, and it's
I don't have a copy of it on my.
That's okay. Look, we're all familiar with the first. We're all familiar with the first three lines.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So on the first line, use the letter S, as in letter 2. Line 1, letter 2.
But why?
Yep. I beg yours.
Why?
But why? But why would you use the second letter on the first line?
I'm about to show you something. Please, if you follow me, it will reveal itself. So line 1, letter 2. Line 2, letters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And line 3, letter 2. They're all touching. If you removed all the spaces and the punctuation and whatnot, and left every sentence in the way it's meant to be. Now, what does that word, what letters are in that word I just showed you?
Okay, you're going to have to cut to the chase and tell me.
Okay.
What does that
All
spell?
right. The word says sandwich.
Oh, and you're not going to find it on a picnic.
Letter 2, line 1. Letters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, line 2.
Where in the Thrill of the Chase does it talk about sandwiches?
Remember the flashlight and the sandwich?
Is that from the Thrill of the Chase, or is that from an interview?
Oh, I can't recall. But everything Forrest has.
I think it's from an interview. I don't think the actual reference to bring a sandwich and a flashlight, I don't think that came from the Thrill of the Chase. I think that came from, that's off the page. I think that came from an interview where Forrest had said that.
That's okay. Now, everything else Forrest has said, canopy of stars, Wyoming, etc., it's all in the poem. If you read the poem like I've just indicated, and Mario himself has done work on this, as well as Dutchman from the East, and Tim Kay as well. I was watching a program there with Lucky Digger a couple of weeks back, and there was another person on there. I can't recall who that was. Lucky, you may be able to help me. But they also had solutions in it as well. Everything Forrester said is in that poem. You find one set of clues, wipe it out, start again, find another set of clues. And it's all
But
in
you
there.
know what? What if you just had that poem? How would you know to look for the word sandwich? I mean, that's like such a random pulled out
But
of
this
the air.
this is a confirmation FF has left us. He's telling us there is plenty of confirmation. By the time you get to the other end of that poem and confirm everything Forrest has said, you know where the treasure is.
So
It's
you're
got nothing to do with the boots on the ground.
You're confirming the poem against interviews.
What Forrest said, solve the poem. You must solve the poem. He has never said go boots on the ground. You must solve the poem.
Right. And you solve the poem by listening to interviews and not by the book.
No,
Is what
by
your
reading the
theory
poem,
is?
finding things Forrest has said.
David,
They're your confirmation points.
David, can you tell us where your solve is?
I'm not going to do that. No.
Is
right
it a
now, I'm
picnic area?
holding
Why?
Are you trying to lead us to a
because
picnic area?
there's other information I'm aware of, and it's not my place to reveal it.
Okay.
Through reading this poem, there's things I know, and it's hard to say. It's hard to not say. Believe me, but there's things in that poem that reveal themselves.
Well, so you understand the frustration that that's being created. And
100%.
You're adding to a frustration here by not being giving us information, but not really giving us information. All we get is not information. You know, we don't need more not information when it comes to somebody figuring something out. Either it's a part and share and we all get it, or we don't. I mean, it's not a place for us to start guessing and hiding and
there's no guessing. There's no guessing. I can assure you.
I know, but I'm guessing. I can't. I'm guessing that you're wrong. I mean, is what I mean.
That's okay. That's fine. I
guessing,
don't need to convince you.
Right. And so what's well, to convince me, you would have to show me other things by saying, I can't tell you, or I know this, but I can't tell you, is not getting us anywhere but frustrated.
Yeah.
So
Dave, you could convince me by showing me the chest, buddy. That's how you would convince me that you were
right. No, Adam, I don't have the chest because the chest has been, and I'll say this in brackets, located. The chest has been located. That's all I'm going to say.
Located where Forrest left it?
Yes.
You know,
I know it's probably pissing you off. I understand that, but that's all I can. I'm trying to guide you on the road to having a solve. It's got nothing to do with boots on the ground. I guarantee you, it's in the poem. And that what I've shown you with the sandwich is how to read the poem. Go and find other information in it. I swear to you, you will be amazed. What Forrest
if you just read us the poem, that would be very helpful. You just read us
what Forrest has done is insane.
That'd be great.
What Forrest has done is insane. The guy deserves an accolade in literature, magician, poetry, everything. Yes.
Dave, are you saying you don't have to go boots on the ground? Is that what you said?
100%. You do not have to go boots on the ground.
So
Forrest did say you have to go boots on the ground on the last piece of information. Of course you do, because you've got to get up off your bum and go and get it. This is where Forrest's wordplay comes in. It's not what it seems. What he's telling you is a diversion. What's the left hand? Well, I'm playing with the right. Everything Forrest has done is magician. 100%. Sit in your chair, solve that poem. We're being led to believe that Jack is the finder of the chest, and it took him 3 weeks. Jack didn't go boots on the ground to find that in 2 weeks or 21 days or whatever it was. He was in his land room. If he solved the poem, and I don't believe he did, I believe I know the true secret. And I'm not the only one.
Dave, Dave, let me read you this and see if you agree. So someone in the chat put this. What Dave is saying is that when you put the poem into a grid and take out the spaces and the punctuation, then you can find words like seek a word puzzle. Is that correct?
100%. And this is the toe to toe. Tick, tack, toe. Toe to toe is a boxing term. The grid is a box. And every piece of information has to touch each other. So the word may not be in front of you, as in, let's call it Wyoming. It might be a W there and a Y down there. But by the time you spelt the word Wyoming, it's all touching. 100%.
Well, I've always said, until we know the solution, anything could be possible. This could be correct.
I swear to you, it's there.
Yeah. Well, it could be. Who am I to say? I don't know. You know, you could be right. People would disagree, but until we know for sure,
I can't take. I can't accept the solution as being mine. This is not mine. I've followed Mario himself, who I told him there was another man that came up with this solution as well. And anyway, one thing's led to another, and Mario's pushed on, and he's found more information over and above what I've found. But we talk to each other all the time, and it's like, yeah, I was aware of that, or no, I wasn't aware of that. And I'm telling you, that chest is in the poem, and that the word chest is in the poem at least 5 times, at least. Wyoming is in the poem at least 4 to 5 times. Under a canopy of stars. There's so much information in that poem. It is ridiculous. I know it's one of them things you've got to go find it yourself. I'm not going to sit here and blab it. It's not my position to put forth the information.
You said that the treasure's been located. Do you believe it's been retrieved?
Give me a second to think of the answer for that. It's been located because it's still under what I believe the Fen property. How that works, I don't know. But it hasn't been handed over yet. We all know this, and I don't believe Jack's the finder. It's hard. It's hard for me to speak. I don't want anything to slip, but I'm trying to guide you on the road. It's not my position to reveal.
Now, you are in Australia, right?
I am indeed.
Right. So, and you've been working with this poem or the chase purely without boots. Have you ever gone boots on the ground? Or you didn't have a solve yet, so you didn't have to
look, Susie, I had a solve in Ouray, I pulled it to pieces. I had 2 other solves elsewhere, I pulled them to pieces. I finalised a solve in Yellowstone National Park at Fort Yellowstone. After seeing what I've read in the poem, I'm not saying I'm throwing it away, because I believe what I found in the poem is actually the answer to the Forrest Fenn hunt in imagination, boots on the ground. Does that make sense? If all along, Forrest told us imagination is more important than knowledge.
Right.
With all the knowledge you have, whether it's Google Earth or Google, or doesn't matter how you get it, that knowledge gets you no closer to the chest. The only information we have is what Forrest has said or written in one manner or another.
and Dave, you're totally
Yeah.
convinced, aren't you, of this? You're 100% sure that you're right.
Well, 100%, and it's not confirmation bias. The confirmation is
See-
in the poem by finding things Forrest has said or written. Only. That's it.
Yeah. And it's
Well, then
amazing.
why would it say there's 9 clues? That doesn't make sense. You're just one anagram word.
That's okay, Tyler. I encourage you guys to sit down, buy a pad, grid it out, write the poem in capital letters, remove all punctuation, keep them in lines, as in don't move half of that line into the next. Don't play with the poem. Just write the
That wouldn't
poem
be 9
as
clues,
I,
one word.
line for line. It's still the poem. It's just proper grammar has allowed us to put a space and a comma. It's still the poem by removing it.
But then there's no 9 clues, correct?
There's 9 clues in the poem. You find them clues, you'll find the answers to each.
But what about, or do you, so you don't think Jack is legit? Like none of that's real? Like that, is that what you're saying?
What were you cooking for dinner, Susie?
What do you mean?
I can't answer that, Susie. I seriously, it's not my place.
Well, then let me ask you this,
There's-
Dave. So
There's
what would be
something else out there.
geographical clues?
I beg yours, Tyler.
You said what?
Say again, repeat your question.
What would be your physical and geographical clues? Because Forrest Fenn said, and I quote, that there were physical and geographical clues that were clue answers regarding to the poem.
I finished saying I'm not prepared to throw my soul out.
Well, all I'm asking is, do you have clue answers that pertain to physical and geographical clues as answers?
Yes. All the answers you seek are in that poem. I
And
guarantee you.
So do you think, what do you think of that? Jack said there are no, it's not anything to do with puzzles. There's not a puzzle in there. There's not a cipher in there. There's no
puzzle. There's no cipher. The words are in front of you. You've just got to find them. You know the mixed up jumbled words in like a crossword puzzle that you get, and you got to find the word like that.
So do you make a grid out of it then? Like a square grid?
That's just a square grid, and start everything on the left-hand side as it is, and continue each, complete the sentence on that line, and then start a new sentence.
And how many words have you found in that grid?
In the whole grid?
Yeah.
Hundreds.
All related.
But when you find a solve, you've got you remember the old things the kids used to play with, the doodle graph or whatever it was? They draw something and they wipe the slate clean.
Yeah.
It's like that. When you fill that grid up, wipe it clean and start again. And it just tells so much information. It's ridiculous. It can't be a coincidence.
So you've got
impossible.
So you've got all these words that you found on the grid. How do you?
Not just words, sentences.
Well, can you give me an example?
Sentences.
Can you give an example of like one sentence that you found?
The chest is found below ground, or underground, I think the word is.
Well, then that would require digging. It would require.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. You're not boots on the ground, Tyler. Remember, you're sitting in your lounge chair. It's imagination. This is where the left field is just totally off track. At the end of it, it tells you what to do and how to get the chest.
Okay, Davio, what do you think of all this? Like, I just equate, like, he is so convinced that this is it. And that's the same as you are so convinced that it is it. I mean, how can this psychology occur simultaneously.
And
How can
that's-
this be that you
yes.
think that the periodic table, the line 40 number or word 41 and 42, that is it? And then he is like, oh, I found sandwich in the poem. And
It's
then
not just,
I know,
there's
but I know
everything
that's
in
your
there.
only
Yeah.
that's your one example that you could share with us. And thank you for
Yes.
sharing that with us. Right. I understand.
It-
I'm just wondering how, I mean, like, are you just sitting here going, how, there's no way this is right? You know, I mean, how, what do you
Yeah.
think of this?
This is what Forrest said. Why did I not think of this?
Hold on, Dave.
Everyone's
Go ahead,
going to
Dave.
go. Why did I not think of that?
But
Well, I want to know what Davio thinks.
what Susie's saying is Davio's absolutely convinced that he's correct, and he may well be. You're convinced that you're correct, and you may well be, but both of you
What's
can't
your-
be correct. So one of you is wrong.
In
It's not both-
everyone's
it's not both of you.
in everyone's soul, they need confirmation. It's not confirmation bias. This is what Forrest wrote. This is his poem. Haven't
Davio.
changed one word or one letter.
Davio, what do you think? Davio?
Your
Yeah.
audio is on mute or mute or something, Davio.
Davio, we can't hear. I know you pushed your mute button off, but your audio is not.
Now you're muted. No, you're not. Oh,
You have your headphones in, Davio?
can't hear you, Davio. Damn.
Rats.
We still can't hear you, Davio.
Maybe try leave it and come back, Davio.
Push more buttons.
Get the hammer out. Stop hitting
push
it.
the button.
But isn't it interesting, Susie, how
It
so
is.
many searchers are utterly convinced that they're correct, and there's no dissuading them, which is their prerogative. But I've spoken
Right.
to countless searchers they won't have it. They won't even consider the possibility that they're wrong.
I know, because they found their own confirmers. They
Yeah.
found their own confirmers. You
No
know,
sound, Davio.
he's working on it. Each person found their own confirmers and took away the words that they wanted to hear from Forrest, yeah, it's just so interesting.
So the other thing is also, Susie, you know where Forrest said it was found in Wyoming under a canopy of stars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. In the poem, you'll find the word Wyoming, and above it, you will find the words canopy of stars. I shit you not.
Well,
While
that's
waiting on Davio, might as well go through some of my presentation that I put together for just the clues, not just any of the.
I don't know if I'm able to tolerate it at this juncture, Tyler.
Well, most of the stuff is
I don't
pertaining
know,
to the book,
because-
like nothing like that's anything.
I've already been on.
David, can I ask you a question? Dave.
Sure.
His audio is bump. Oh, Dave.
Dave, yeah. If Jack comes out and releases the solve and how he did it, and it all checks out, will you accept that you were wrong, or will you?
Oh,
always
100% accept I'm wrong, but I know it's not going to happen.
Okay.
It's that simple. That's my answer, and you can highlight that. Jack will not divulge the whereabouts of the chest.
Well, I think
because
you're right.
It's not his business.
I think
It's
you're right
nothing to
about
do
that.
with him.
But I think someone will. Someone else.
Someone
not Jack.
will, and it will not be Jack. And it
Hmm.
will match what I'm saying. I guarantee you.
I admire your confidence.
So how long do we have to
100%.
wait for this mysterious information?
This,
Mine?
yeah, I can't answer that, and that's why some of the things you're asking me, I'm trying to sideball, curve away from. That's not my position. I'm just trying to put you on the right page. All along, Forrest said, get back in the box. The
tell you
box
what-
is The grid. The grid
Dave.
is tic-tac-toe, yes.
I tell you what, a few people in the chat agree with what you're saying.
Oh, I can't see chat.
A guy called Tim K Adventurers says Dave's
Tim
right.
K. Tim K's already on it. Yep.
Yeah,
I've
Dave's right.
liaised with
Mario
Tim.
and I have been doing this for several others. So, you know, it's, a few people buy into this.
Yeah.
Terry
Tim's onto
Scant is
it.
actual starry sky. Interesting.
There's heaps of information in that poem. What Forrest has done is an amazing piece of literature, and I've
Hey,
got
Davio.
no doubt
Try putting some
It's
headphones
going-
in, bud.
it's going to come to head, and it will be known worldwide. This is Forrest's accolade.
Well, I hope you're right.
100%. I firmly believe it.
Or starry can't. That's funny. Yeah, it's hard to listen to. I want to be honest. It's hard to hear when it's like we're already so. I can only speak for myself. Let's just speak for myself.
I'll issue a little challenge.
Frustrated.
Sorry.
There's a difference between being challenged and being frustrated. Like there's
Understood.
Right.
If you can put this on a grid, put them all in capital letters, remove all the punctuation, including spaces, keep the first line as I go alone in there as one line. Do not move it into the next line. And do the same. And everything that we call a stanza, move the next stanza up. No spaces. 0 spaces. Start on the left where it starts as I go alone, and I can keep my secret where. And if you've been,
and where did you find the instructions to do that? Where did it say this is what you're supposed to do?
I was dabbling in it a little earlier, and then Mario, there's another gentleman on the channel that came forward, and he presented something to me. I'm not going to reveal that person. And then Mario came forward, and I was check.
Hold on, Dave. Go ahead, Davio.
So it's working. You can hear me.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can.
I have the same problem you have. I think there's does it make the clicking noise, the computer, the stereo system?
Well, no, I got a Mac and I've abused it.
Okay, yeah.
I have
on my computer, it makes a clicking noise every now and then. It goes, the system stereo goes out, and I hear it. Like, yeah, it's not gonna work. That's why I said put it in headphones, because it works. You usually put it in.
Here we go. I got
Go
it.
ahead, Daniel.
So Susie, if you could hit where it says participants down there at the very bottom of the screen, you see where it says screen share. You can enable screen share, and I can put the poem up on the screen so we can actually talk about the thing that's being talked about right now.
There's not a chance. I would rather jump off my roof than go through, put that poem in a grid.
No, I wasn't going to put it in a grid. I was just
that sounds like torture. That sounds like crazy. I am not going to count words. I'm not going to. You just need to tell me what's the 41st word, Dave. What is it,
let me ask you, what matters? Does the weight of the chest matter?
No.
You think that he put little stones in there to get it to that weight doesn't matter? It's a coincidence. It's a question. You have to kind of go, is it more yes or more no, right?
Coincidence.
So coincidence.
I think
that means if we,
the weight of the chest. Well, you know what? I reel that back because
what would be a heavy load could be the very chest itself, right? I mean, just heavy loads. Good. I mean, that is a heavy load. 42 pounds is a heavy load, right? Why not?
Okay.
Right.
A burden, it would be hard to carry, yes.
Right. That would be like 4 milk jugs of, it would be at least 4 gallons of milk.
And so, okay. And so what are you going to do with that? Is it, where in the book does it say 42 pounds of gold? Does it say in the book somewhere? It says, or does it say, okay.
So it says that on the inventory of what the chest weighs and how much gold there is, how many troy pounds and all that. So you definitely get a solid 42. Now, do you not think that the amount of words in this matter? Do you think lines don't matter? I mean, if you're looking for something that's precise, wouldn't you simply just count words? And it's coincidental. It's just another coincidence that the answer is actually word 42 and 41. So if it says the answer happens to be the numbers 42 and 41, wouldn't that maybe be a little bit of significance?
I don't see it, Davio. I don't, honey. I don't
know you don't.
see.
So
I
what
don't
does the
see,
word precision mean?
But where do you get 41? Where does 41 come from?
I
Where?
counted the words. Like he says he knew how many words were in Too Far in My War for Me.
But
He knew
how did
many
you know to
words.
count to number 41?
I
Or were you
counted
counting to
from
the number answer, or were you counting to the number 41?
I numbered the poem from the top to the bottom because that was a hint on page 15. The number 79 is the 79th word. So I was assuming that there are many hints in the book that you should apply to the poem. So, ergo, I went from, here's another hint. Up a creek without a paddle. That comes from a writer whose name is John Dos Passos. Well, it's true. It is a writer who came up with that. He also
Right.
came up with a book called The 42nd Parallel. So there's
That goes right through Yellowstone.
No, Yellowstone is 44. The 42nd Parallel is Casper.
Oh, okay.
So
But
that's
Davio, isn't this knowledge?
I should think anything you read could be consumed as knowledge.
And Forrest indicated imagination was better than knowledge.
Right. And how is Holden Caulfield related to imagination? It's the guy that killed John Lennon had that in his pocket. So imagination isn't just Einstein, and it can also be John Lennon. I don't think anything is just one thing in this.
I do agree with that last statement, yes.
For instance, what's the most obvious Brown you can think of? Wouldn't that be Charlie Brown?
No, not Charlie Brown's not in the book.
Charlie Brown's a cartoon, and we're certainly seeing cartoons all over the book, little drawings that are just like that. We're also seeing Norman Rockwell paintings and drawings. We're seeing the same kind of medium all over the book. So you're going to say
I do think art is important. I do think the illustrations are very important. I believe Rockwell is very important, but I don't get the leap from Charles Schultz to the chase.
Charlie Brown. Well, it says Brown, so let's just kind of reach for the idea that maybe that's got something to do with Charlie Brown. But then there should be something else. Well, Skippy is Peanuts, and Peanuts is.
I know, but you've
Charlie
already
Brown.
taken it off the page. You've already launched it from in the book and on the poem,
Yes.
and launched it off the page into, you know. I don't think it goes that
Google
far.
Maps. I mean, we can't ignore the tools he said to use, right? He said to look up words. He said to do research. He said use your imagination.
Look up words. He didn't
Right.
say.
Well, what's the difference? Looking up a word, looking up a man, looking up a person, isn't this all the same? I mean, isn't it important to find out where Skippy got his real name is William Marvin Fenn, Jr. That's Skippy's real name. So isn't it important to find out these little bits of information? I mean, which information is valuable, which is not? I mean, if I'm seeing the word Brown, I would think that there might be something around Charlie Brown because he was a World War I fighting ace. Snoopy, I mean, that's Charlie Brown Christmas. There's different little parodies about the story
But
of Charlie
that's
Brown.
you're taking
and
your
Forrest.
knowledge, what you are relating.
Yes,
You're
what-
relating your own
Yes.
information
Yeah.
to.
That's a fact.
So how could
Can I throw a curveball out there?
No, not yet. We've got enough. Go on, Susie.
You know what? Why don't you steal my whole presentation? That's all pertaining to information, stuff like that. Nothing off the script.
So my question is what information? What Forrest said? Don't fence me in. He didn't like rules, so I'm trying to work with what information I have pertaining to the world. I mean, Charlie Brown is definitely a thing that would be in the Saturday Evening Post. That's where it started. Is it too much to think that Woodstock is, not mentioned in here? I mean, this is too far reaching. That's too far of a step. You can't go that many steps away. You have to keep it right there. So then you can't ignore counting the poem, because you will have no precision unless you have in numbers. Otherwise, you're just going to walk around and figure out, well, what's a warm water, right?
But I'm going to need someplace in the book that tells me to count to the whatever word.
Go to page 15.
Is that going to tell me?
Page 15. Okay, so there is nothing that's going to tell.
15 says almost 79.
That's right. And if you count from the bottom to that word, it's the 79th word on the 9th line.
Why would I imagine that I needed to count backwards to that?
Because we're looking for precision, and he says he starts from the bottom. These are words that he says. When he says first few steps, so at the bottom of the page, why not count the first few steps? Why not give yourself that bit of information? How could you not count words?
Okay, so you're counting this page from the bottom up to get to number 79, but you're counting the poem from the top down to get to number 41?
No, I'm counting from the bottom up on the poem, and the words, the answer is 42 and 41.
And so what is the answer? What does 42 and 41 mean?
Well, it takes you to 42, which is a number that's repeated in the weight, so that makes it might be significant. It's repeated again when you think of the 42nd parallel. So he's mentioning books, he's mentioning other things that would have influenced his world, his life at the same time. I mean, this is a way of expressing this book in a lively, creative way that is extremely simple and right in front of you.
Dami, you just made me thinking. I've been on many panels with you, and you've never had that moment where you made me think for anything. So, God damn it, Davio.
Right on. Thinking is good. That's the whole idea of doing this, is to stretch your imagination legs and take away, because the word precision brings you to numbers. That's how you get rid of bias. In other words, if I say warm water is the temperature of brown trout, that is me loving fish or something and taking brown and fish and putting it together. But if you say that it says the answer, and that is number 42 and 41, well, that actually does say the and answer, and it actually says 42 and 41. What you do with that information next is another story. But nonetheless, they do equal that. And if you count from the top down, now you get two sets of numbers. Now these numbers could equal chapters. They could equal page numbers. I mean, it's fascinating that page 42 is the gypsy dancing with the fire. So that's fascinating in itself.
What if I told you there was an even sweeter deal to make everything that you just said fit, Davio?
I love it when it fits.
So you ready for this? I gave Susie a tidbit rundown of this.
Nice.
I'm here, Susie.
Okay.
Right here. No, this one is what made me just fucking think. What if? Because knowing with wars, you watch your friend die. So somehow, when you come out of that war, you have to have a way to set your mind off of that. What if that was exactly art? Hence, him later, after coming out of the Vietnam War, was become a billionaire art dealer. So he wanted to mix it all in with art, which would be a perfect friggin' way to incorporate the Joseph Henry Sharp cabin, which is why they kind of had some people off ledge to go away from that, so people would stop digging there. And also is why he put that picture of him and the horses in that valley-looking area with the mountains, with the Madison River there and the Blaze there, because that's where beforehand is where he was. But later, that same place later become the Buffalo Center of the West. And then the other picture with him as a kid was him on the land that sits on the Joseph Henry Sharp log cabin sits on is at the Buffalo Center of the West. So all three pictures match into the genre of art. What do you think of that one, Davio?
I think it all fits into art all kinds of ways. I mean, for instance, just to carry on with 42, there's a galaxy Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Level 42 is the answer to the universe. 42 shows up in a few other places, but just in fact, it does say the answer is number 42 and 41 from the bottom up. So it makes one think, about like page 111. What would word 111 be? Because there is red print, right? That is red oxidized print, which happens to have the number 111 in its weight, but we won't go there. Let's just say that red oxidized ink in two places is some kind of significant number. I mean, let's say could it be referring to, I don't know, the Red Sox? I mean,
no,
why
no,
not?
Please.
Well, why not? What's the cat's name?
It's torture because it doesn't, it's so far.
Really?
I appreciate your imagination.
Look at this, he called the cats socks, right? They hung there like socks when he was squirting them with the milk, right? Well, our 42nd president had a cat named Socks. Just saying, those are little tiny hints that he put out there. You don't remember Clinton having a cat named Socks?
It's painful. That's all I can say, honey. I can't. It's so not. And if you're right, I can't. It will be like
painful.
Oh my God. Yes. It will be. But just like the confirmers that Dave has, just like the Tyler, he's got a whole slideshow about got it. The only person I'm gonna, I can't because
yes, I understand.
It's so hard to follow. I think that this is going to be easy. The actual real solution.
What does easy mean?
Real solve.
What would easy mean? Susie, if I go to your house without a number, can I actually get to your house without the number of your house? Would it be easy if I had no 1314 Loch Lomond Lane? Let's say, pretend that's your address, right? 1314 Loch Lomond Lane. Now, he ideally for us is trying to tell us something very similar to that to get us to a location, right? I mean, he can't say turn left at a tree.
Why wouldn't you use the actual address that he gave us? 1314 Main Street, Temple, Texas. Great. That's like right in. That's like why would you use something so obscure? Why wouldn't you use something that's right Skippy.
In the book? That's exactly the postmark on Skippy's page. That'd be page 50. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's right there. That's the only page that has a postmark on the opposite side. So
why is 41 important, not 50?
Guys, can I interrupt? Dave, can you mute your mic because we can hear all the traffic in the background?
Yeah, there's traffic there in Australia.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry, guys.
All right, thank you, Dave.
Yeah, that's why I had you. That's why.
Well, heavy loads got me to 42 straight away, right? Just heavy loads, and if that's let's say the heavy load is the chest, that's 42. Then that takes me to chapters 8 and 9, where page 42. Well,
I don't know how to do this without being disrespectful or mean, but I can't. It's so.
I understand.
It's so. I don't. It's so far away.
But yet,
it's so.
That is the numbers are real. I'm not inventing 42.
Exactly. And
So
that's
that's
the
the
same thing
difference.
that Dave can tell you. He didn't invent the word sandwich in the poem. It's there. And they didn't invent.
Well, no, I didn't put I like how he put the poem in the grid, and I did everything that he's talking about because I thought there would be some kind of neat words in there. But nonetheless, without putting the poem into a grid, you can simply count words. Now, wouldn't that be one of the simplest things that one could do is just count words? I mean, he does talk
Not-
about lines. There's 26 lines, right? No, there's 24 lines.
And I've listened to Jack's cognitive bias video
Right.
and trying to figure out how and listen to what Jack has said about
Right.
him, about what he's done. And
To get
he's
rid of
the only
bias.
one that is gonna get me to believe, unless I do it myself, that unless something's got to unlock. It's got to be like obvious, and it can't be the 79th word on the 15th page counting up from the bottom. It just can't.
That's a hint. That's a hint
It
of what you
just
should
can't
apply.
be.
Why
I
not?
refuse
How
to
simple? You're counting words.
Okay, maybe it could be. It could
But
be.
that's simple. I mean, in principle, that's simple, and it's real, and there's no bias. I mean, as I is actually the second word, right? I mean, as is first, I is number two, gone alone. Those words are 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, right? So if you count from the top, count from the bottom, you've got two groups of numbers per word, and you
right
also
there,
have
boom.
lines.
It's just too. It's too.
Well, so you're saying it's too
it's-
complex? Is that the word we're looking for? Complexity? It's not complex. So you're right. I agree. Counting numbers is not complex. It's a pain in the ass. He said you have to do the work. This would be doing the work.
And you count these numbers, and it
Count the
gives you.
words.
And this gives you coordinates. It gives you coordinates.
I'm saying that it'll refer you back to chapters and pages within the book that will then give you more coordinates to a location. Yes.
I know, but I could do that all day long and not be right. I can find words in the book and in the poem and play the game you're playing. I can do that all day long. And it will mean nothing.
Well, he does say Casper, right? He does say Casper and Shoshone. He does
yes, that is a very prominent location. Now, if you're talking that now is real.
That's
that
right.
is
Did
when
you know that it's at the
he went
40s?
alone. He
Right.
got kicked out of the car. His brother drove off, and
That's
he's
right.
walking by himself between
Walking.
Casper and Shoshone.
That's
and
right.
that now I can bite.
Did you know that that's on the 42nd parallel? Okay? That is on the 42nd parallel. So just by going to Google Maps and looking at Casper, you're looking at 42 and 105. Now, what's 105? Well, it's the other page you have gypsies besides 42. So these are just simple things that you're looking at, just laying around out there.
Well, I will say this. He did plant a map specifically in a certain spot that I guarantee nobody else caught. I mean, I had eyed it beforehand, but then I saw something. I was like, "Oh shit!" Which is this right here, and Susie knows exactly where it's from, Golden Moor, because she brought it up a while ago, and I went back through it because I have someone who has it. And what's it right there? I don't know if you can see it, but it's blurry.
Susie, do you think there's 9 physical locations to the 9 clues?
Right there, Susie.
I think there has to be, or it has to be instructions.
I agree.
That's the word, instructions. Forrest said, put an X on the map. Go to page 10 in TTOTC. What do you see?
I don't know. It's 10 is a Roman numeral, and a Roman numeral is an X.
There you go. Now find 10 in the poem.
And so page 20 is a double X. So if we go that way, we can
you'll find your treasure. Look, everyone's out looking for the home of Brown. Forrest said it's not a man-made object.
It's not.
Read the poem
right there.
and look below the word brown in the poem and find the words Forrester said, you'll find your treasure. It's in the poem. It's got nothing to do with boots on the ground, guys. I'm telling you.
They're right on top of the Madison.
I beg yours.
Sitting right on top of the Madison, the Blaze, which is now at the Buffalo Center of the West.
Forrest told us all
Why he
along.
made- Hold on, let me go back.
The home of Brown is not man-made. So if you looked in below the home of Brown in the
He
poem,
never said the home Brown is man-made, did he?
I beg yours.
He never said the home Brown was man-made, did he?
No, he said it wasn't. It's not associated with a man-made structure.
And it's not. It's a cabin, and cabin is naturally made from wood.
It's not anything. It's Brown in the poem.
Right? I know. It's all how you look at it, man. Well, you guys,
Yeah,
I-
100%.
it's,
You know what?
now
I'm gonna
it's,
give y'all something that
Nope.
I personally reached out to somebody. This
I
was
am- nope, I'm calling it for the night, you guys. I do appreciate you, everybody sharing. It's already after midnight here, and my brain cannot take another swish. You know,
Thank you, Susie.
It's all good.
I've enjoyed
Good night,
talking to you.
guys.
You got
I
the
Love
best
you,
appreciate
Tyler,
y'all
Adam.
coming on and
Good night,
joining me.
Dave.
This has
Thank you,
been
mate.
so much fun. I've been over
Right
3
on with
hours.
the
It's so
curiosity.
crazy.
Rest well.
Outstanding. Right on, love.